truthfully, they got lucky in the semifinal. I mean, they were down.
We're going to get into this in a sec. We're just going to go for a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Pat Quinn Classic Championship game in Burnaby, BC is live on Shaw TV.
So, Paul McClellan here on Play-by-Play. Gary Volk joining me, color commentary. We'll be joining Vanessa Ibarra later on rinkside. She'll have some interviews for us with folks like Cliff Ronning. Lots to come up, including the game, of course. But, Gary, we've seen a lot of great hockey from both teams, Delta and Chicago. What do you think, though, about the level of play that we've seen here from these Bantam guys?
Well, it's been incredible, and the level of Bantam hockey gets better and better every year, just with the skill development. Look at the coaches in this game. Gino Cavallini, pro player, played almost 600 games in the NHL. Yogi Shelazowski was a first rounder with Washington. I mean, look at the skill development. Look at the coaching these kids are getting at young ages. They're very fortunate. Both these teams are so skilled. They're so fast. And it's going to be a tremendous hockey game.
It's going to be a tremendous hockey game for sure. And we're going to go rinkside now to Vanessa Ibarra. Vanessa?
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, it should be a great game tonight. First of all, I'm going to talk to the coaches of both Chicago and Delta on strategies to win tonight's game. Also, a nice special interview with Callie Quinn, daughter of Pat Quinn. And yes, as you mentioned, we'll also be speaking to Cliff Ronning, a former Vancouver Canuck many of us have come to know. So should make for some great conversations. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much for that, Vanessa. Now, we got a couple of very elite level teams right now. The first one, the local team. They're not the home team because they did lose one game in the tournament, but Delta, you're very familiar with them. Gary, you've got some kids at that level. What can you tell us about this Delta squad?
Well, I mean, Delta has been coached by Yogi for a lot of years. A lot of their spring players, they play winter and spring together. They run the same power plays. They're all led in net. Their number one goalie is Boston Bullios. He's committed to Denver University already.
Yeah.
He is a 2001 player, 14 years old.
14 years old.
Committed for 5 years from now.
So Bilu is one to keep an eye on, one of the key players. A couple others that I picked out watching some of their games. Lukas Sveikovsky. The kid's got a lot of speed. He's only 5'2" out there, though. Tons of great action from him. Also leading in goals right now, Dylan Cozens. Very talented young guy. What did you think when you saw this Delta team on the ice?
Well, everything runs through Yogi's son, Lucas. I mean, he runs the half wall on the power play. He distributes the puck really well. Cozens is speed. He's big, speed, powerful. If you're a defenseman on Chicago, you're marking him down. You got to respect how fast he can go out there. Their defense, they do nothing flashy. They have a few good D. Kent is one of them that stands out for me. Gill is another one who's got good size. They just play a real smart game. And you hear Yogi in the pre-interview saying, we are going to scout the other team, Chicago, and he will have them ready.
Let's cut to that interview, get a little bit of a taste from the coach right now.
What did you learn from your loss to Chicago that you hope to have learned going into this?
Well, I think anytime you play a team for the first time, and as a coach personally, I like to see a video. I like to break down the video, and I think for our players, they expect coaches to give them a chance to know how to play, and I think we're more prepared coming into the game because we know what type of a team they are, we know how they play, and we know their tendencies, and at the same time, the same thing goes to their coaches. I'm sure they watched our game again, and they're gonna give their players a little bit of a hint how to play us. So basically, for us, it's we gotta go and make sure we understand who's on the ice. They have some dangerous players, and how they play is in a way a great challenge for us because in 2 years, to be honest, we haven't lost 2 games in a row to opponent other than in the overtime or shootout. So that's a challenge and a streak that these guys try to live up to and try to stay away. They try to stay tuned on that and play really hard in this game.
Should make for a good game. Thank you.
Should be ready, yeah. Thank you.
The Delta Wild, the quote-unquote road team for this one. The home team, on virtue of their 5-0 record, is the Chicago Mission. Great speed, offensive talent on this team, and they've come a long way, and they don't want to go home empty-handed, I'm guessing. What have you seen any of the Chicago action so far?
I did. I watched them play in the semifinal. Truthfully, they got lucky making it to the final. They were down late in that game, and Kyle Schroeder scored an incredible goal, top shelf. 2 minutes left to tie the game, and sure enough, he gets the absolute beauty in the shootout to send them through to the final. It was a scare for that team. Luke Toporowski's power, he's big, he's speed. You got to watch out for him. The matchups that Yogi are going to use are he's going to be able to figure out how to shut down Toporowski with a great gap from his defenseman. We'll see if his defense are up to the challenge.
Definitely Toporowski, amazing speed. I've seen him split the D several times in this tournament, but he likes to float up at the blue lines. They might be able to take advantage of him, make sure he comes back on D.
He's a cookie monster.
He's a little bit of a, yeah, he likes going for those goals. Schroeder, of course, yeah, Mr. Clutch definitely in the last game. They wouldn't be here without him. Another guy I was sort of looking at, Owen Lindmark. He's one of their leaders. He's 4th right now in the USA High Performance League scoring race with 23 points.
This Chicago team is a 3rd-ranked team in all of the U.S. A hockey. They're behind Shattuck St. Mary's. So for them, they play high-level hockey pretty much year-round with a group like this. And for them to be ranked 3rd speaks volumes. First of all, that they came to this Pat Quinn tournament for sure. They're here. Now it's Canada-USA final. Should be fun.
Should be a lot of fun, a lot of history between Vancouver and Chicago. Well, let's take a listen to their coach right now. He had a few words before the game with Vanessa.
So, Gino, your team has had great success so far in this tournament, won 5 in a row. What's your strategy going into tonight?
Just keep the shifts short and get a lot of pucks at the net. Not really. There's no secrets to our game. We play, up and down game, skating and shooting.
And what's your strategy, though? Overconfidence. You've won 5 in a row. Is that a worry for you when it comes to these players?
No. I mean, our schedule allows for us to play this type of competition often, and the games are 20 minutes long, so there's basically an extra period for us to play than we normally would see. So guys just come out and play. I mean, they know what's at stake, and they look forward to the challenge.
See if it plays out.
All right, so we've heard from both coaches now. Let's talk a little bit about the tournament, though. It has been, it's been here for over 50 years in Burnaby. It's recently been rebranded, though, with the Pat Quinn name on that. If you're a Vancouver sports fan, if you're a British Columbia sports fan, Pat Quinn is not a name that's a mystery to you. Gary, you're familiar with the man. Tell us a little bit about what it means maybe to bring that name to an event like this that already had a good stature to begin with.
Well, it does, and Cliff Ronning deserves a lot of credit. A lot of local people, local businesses in Burnaby getting behind it. Pat Quinn means so much to the hockey community. I played for Pat for 8 years out of my 13-year career. Great man. His daughter's here today. We're going to interview. She's absolutely on cloud 9 because of what this tournament is doing for his name and his love for hockey, especially young hockey. Pat was never much about professional hockey. Like, he loves the rawness of young talent, young hockey. And so for him, he'd be smiling down right now.
And you played for Pat. People have described him as sort of a fatherly figure in some ways to guys. What did he play as far as a role with professionals that he worked with, but maybe if you saw him working with some youngsters as well?
Well, he would have treated a Bantam AAA team like he treated the pro team, with respect, a lot of team building. That he was big on the team building, big on play for each other, play for the shirt, don't play for yourselves individually, which is what, as a Bantam coach, we all try to teach our kids, instill those same building blocks, because not all these players that are playing in this game are going to make the NHL. I mean, let's face it, the percentages are 1 or 2% of these kids that play in a game like this you'll ever see on the big stage. So you're building life skills. And that's why Gino Cavallini, Yogi, professional players that are still involved, giving back to minor hockey, I love to see it. I mean, Rob Blake was involved with the LA team, that Delta. Nelson Amerson was coaching that team, another NHLer. These guys are giving back, and good on them because you're instilling life skills.
When you've played in the NHL, is it important to you, or I guess maybe the feeling, you've got kids, maybe it's a little bit that much more attachment, but when you get to work with these younger players, when you get to pass on that knowledge, that skill, that love of the game, what does it mean to a guy like yourself?
Well, I mean, it's the love of the game. I mean, every single player I've coached, I love it at the end of the year when they say, Gary, that was the most fun year I had. Because, I mean, there's a lot of times where you can quit as a hockey player through junior, through the pros. Kids get hurt bad. You see concussions. You see kids get paralyzed. I've seen it myself. And you need a love of the game to keep going. When a coach taps you on the back and you got to go fight a 20-year-old and you're 17, you better love the game. like, you have to. And so as a coach, I've always made sure right from 3-year-olds, which I coach 5-year-olds now with Dave Tomlinson, who works for the Vancouver Canucks on the broadcast. We coach together because we want to make sure our kids love the game as much as we did, so they won't quit when they're 14 or 15.
Now, behind us today, we'll be seeing the Bantam elite level guys. When you get to that age level, what are some of the key things? What are the players working on, sort of progressing as far as skill sets, as far as, I guess, the mental aspects of the game as well?
Well, all of a sudden, they're starting to grow a little bit, these kids, so their knees are starting to hurt, their hips are sore. And, there's the goalie. There's a goalie in this game, Boston. I believe he's 6'2", and there's going to be another kid, Lucas Shilivzovsky, who's what you say, 5'1" or 5'2"?
5'2", yeah.
So, there's a massive size difference. So the small guys better be fast, and the big guys better respect enough the game not to try to kill the small guys out there. I think that comes from the coaches. You're not going to see massive hits in a game like this. They're both well-coached teams. You're not going to see a ton of penalties. If you see a lot of penalties, they both have great power plays. So, for me, a lot of times at this age, 12, 13, 14, they're in the gym now. They're figuring their bodies out. Some kids are in puberty, some aren't. But what they all do is they're all working on their skill each and every day so that when suddenly they reach their max height, we'll see what kind of players we have.
Now, I'm just watching over my shoulder now because there's a bit of a presentation before the game for Pat Quinn. We might have another second here. You mentioned sort of the difference in size at this age a little bit. I mean, if you've got a guy that's 5'2", able to compete out there, I mean, what's the key for a smaller guy to succeed at the bantam level?
Well, you got to be able to go laterally. And if you go in straight lines, the big D can track you down. The small guy like Cliff Ronning, who played great in bantam hockey, went laterally really well. In British Columbia, we have a 2-year age group. So you'll see a lot of 2002s, 2001 birth years. So there's some kids 2 years younger than other kids. And the young kids, they have to survive. And the older kids, they just keep getting better. So it's so unique, this hockey. It's such a massive size difference.
It's interesting, yeah. Some of the guys are bigger than myself, and I'm a couple years older than 14 now. And then the 5'2" guys that remind me of little kids on the schoolyard in elementary school, but they're just as competitive, and if they use their skill, they're able to evade the more physical guys, and they really let their skills shine through.
And the rules in bantam hockey, this is the first year of hitting. So a lot of the 2002s haven't hit yet. And they're going against guys who have hit for a year and a half. And, I've always said hitting should be in atom hockey. They should play it. Like in the U.S., they hit right all the way through. They play girls hockey, so you're allowed to rub out. You're allowed to hit along the boards, just not from behind or in front. Like through the middle of the ice, they can't hit. So for us, it's been a massive, my son's a 2002. It's been a huge teaching curve just to try to keep them safe on the ice. Mm-hmm. Now from there, we can start going to a skill.
Yeah, no, it's been interesting to see that conversation come to the forefront, I think, in Canada, and the hitting and stuff. But Svejkovsky is the smaller player we'll see for the Delta team. I saw him evade a couple of guys. Big bruisers came in behind the net, and he's just so good at ducking out of the play, and the big guy's the one that's, dusting himself off, getting up, because if you learn how to at least work with the physical play, I think a lot goes towards your future hockey career if you're learning that at a young age. Yeah.
Right, Cliff Ronning. I mean, look, I checked Wayne Gretzky a lot in my career. When I was with Vancouver, I played with the Ducks. We played LA a lot. My job was to check him. Like, I was bigger than him. Did
it matter?
He was 3 seconds ahead of what I was doing, so I couldn't get at him, and he really used the seams really well. Protected himself in the areas of the ice where I knew if I went there, he could make a pass by me, then I got scored on. So I would leave him in those areas, and Lucas is that type of player.
It's great to see. No, it's been amazing hockey so far. I'm looking rinkside. We still got some Mounties getting ready with a check right now. The trophy's getting ready rinkside.
The type of hockey this is, I mean, it is Canada, USA for these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, my son's played a lot of hockey tournaments, and if I'm in the coach right now, if I'm in the room, World Juniors is on. I'm going, we owe the Americans. We owe them. Canada lost the last game of the World Juniors, and I would use everything I could to motivate these kids because they're nervous. I mean, they're tired and they're nervous. They played 5 games, 6 games. They're not a lot of rest. They're nervous, they're tired, so they better be smart.
It'll be interesting, too. The Chicago team plays Chelsea Dagger as their goal song. I don't know if the Delta boys, not necessarily Vancouver Canucks fans, but that song is not a popular one in this city. They may want to really give it to the Chicago, not Blackhawks, but Mission, because there's a lot of ties between these two cities when it comes to hockey.
Well, there is. My brother lives in Chicago. He coaches an Adam team there. So Chicago's a massive hockey mecca. Their best player, Toporowski, drives 50 miles every day to go to hockey practice.
He lives in Iowa?
He lives in Iowa.
That's a bit of a stretch
so
for practice.
He drives it's an hour and a half drive. Because there's traffic and there's snow, there's elements. Sacrifices parents make for their kids are legendary. And there's a lot of stories. You do whatever you can to put your kid in a position to succeed. Because they have a certain window where they have to get seen, they can travel, they can have fun. If they don't make a name for themselves by 18, they're pretty much playing beer leagues and passing on. Hopefully they all get into coaching and pass those skills on.
Yeah, it's great to see when players get to do that as they grow up. They're still playing the game. They're still playing no matter what level you're at. There's love of the game, whether you're playing for the actual Stanley Cup or you're playing for the Pat Quinn Classic or you're playing for the, what do we use, a trash bin in my backyard, whisk over the head. There's a love of the game.
Especially over Christmas.
Yes, Christmas and hockey tournaments.
So, some teams aren't in tournaments. Like, my son's team's not in a tournament. Well, he went out skiing today. Now he's got practice. But he's still on the ice. Like, he's on the snow or on the ice. I grew up in Edmonton. I was on the snow or on the ice. It's that time of the year.
Well, it'll be interesting, too. You mentioned the World Juniors and how that can play in. We're talking about tournaments this type of year. Some of the guys that play in, not necessarily this tournament, but through these systems have gone on to make a big impact at the World Juniors as well as the NHL. One that comes to mind last year, Thatcher Demko, the starting goaltender for Team USA, Vancouver Canucks draft pick in the early second round in 2014, went through the Los Angeles Kings, which they lost in the semifinal, but he did go through that system briefly before his move on to the USHL and now at Boston College in the NCAA. So some of the guys you're seeing now, while we say a lot of them, it's hard to go pro, you might see a couple guys out there today that all of a sudden are playing for your Vancouver Canucks or whoever down the line.
Well, 100%. It's every kid's dream to play in the NHL. For me, at this age, I was really small. I was really small, and at that, I always played defense. They moved me to forward, and then I started growing right after this age, and suddenly you're getting better every year. Then you're in college. Then you're, wow, what do you mean I just signed a contract? What do you mean I'm playing a pro game? It happens so quick. But the main thing both of these programs provide is development first. Make yourself better individually, and then fit into a team game. Because the one thing about pro hockey, everybody's so gifted. Skill, like Tommy Sestito, former Vancouver Canucks, scored over 40 goals in junior hockey. Yeah. And in the NHL, he's a tough guy.
Even if you're the goon when you get to the NHL, you've learned to fill that role because you are one of the stars. Matt Cook, great example, amazing goal scorer. Became a bit of an agitator when he got to the league, although he did score a few goals in his NHL days. Or I guess he's still rolling.
He's still going, I think. Wow, yeah. I think he's in Minnesota still.
Yeah.
A lot of knee injuries. I'm happy he's still playing. He's fought through it.
Now, you talk about you were a bit of a smaller player. What do you think made the difference for you making the NHL? These guys all have that dream. Maybe easier for some than others, but for you, what were really the key things to focus on in these next few years leading up to, I guess, 18 is the key year?
Well, probably, my parents had a big part of it. They really didn't put a lot of pressure on me. I would go to the gym. They always made sure, okay, here's a gym pass, here's a bike, here's a bench press in the basement. You got a rink over there. If you want to go, you can walk. But they gave me the opportunities, though, because they didn't take the love of the game away from it for me. So I loved it at a young age. I was at the rink all the time. I would shoot pucks by myself. I would go to the gym when others were going out to the nightclubs. And that was the big difference for me is I got better. I got better till I was 30 years old, where some kids think, I'm pretty good at 15.
Yeah.
I don't really have to work anymore.
Easy to become complacent for sure.
100%.
Hopefully Vanessa talked to the Chicago coach earlier about how you can become complacent after a 5-0 start. We're going to head downstairs right now, though. Vanessa's got somebody else for us. Vanessa, take it away.
I do. Her last name may be Small, but she's got a lot of responsibilities here. I'm here with Nancy Small, Executive Director of Tourism, Burnaby. It's your first year partnering for this tournament. Why were you interested?
Well, you know, Burnaby has been a host of the Burnaby Bantam Christmas Tournament for over 50 years. And with Pat Quinn's passing last year and an opportunity to get involved, we wanted to reinvigorate the tournament and welcome teams from all across Canada and the US, actually. So it was a great opportunity for us to get on board and bring all of these people together in Burnaby in the holiday period. So it's been really exciting.
Yeah, how big is the connection with Pat Quinn with Burnaby people in particular, would you say?
You know, I think on the West Coast, whether you're Burnaby, Vancouver, Coquitlam, anywhere, Pat Quinn is a legend in the game, and we are honored that we've been able to, you know, work with his family and work with the Pat Quinn Legacy Fund to bring this tournament to life. And his name resonates no matter who you are, where you are, and Burnaby in particular, such a hockey city. We were really excited to have the opportunity to do this. So
only made sense for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I'll throw it back to you.
Pat Quinn's name resonates with the community, with the province, with the country. I mean, talk 2002 Olympics. We're going to see a very special presentation for Pat in just a moment. If you're joining us now, it's the Pat Quinn Classic Bantam Elite Final. I guess I'll send it downstairs on Shaw TV. Paul McClellan, Gary Volk. Let's throw it down to John Ashbridge on the ice.
Medal game, the Bantam Elite Division, to wrap up this inaugural Pat Quinn Classic. Thank you so much for coming out this afternoon. To begin the proceedings, we do have a very important check presentation and some very important guests. Would you please welcome to our red carpet the daughter of the late Pat Quinn, the man after whom this tournament is named, the man in whose name this tournament is played, Callie Quinn. And the honorary chair of this inaugural Pat Quinn Classic, former Vancouver Canuck, Burnaby's very own, Cliff Ronning. Our VIPs are flanked on the carpet by our Burnaby Fire Honor Guard, Lieutenant Ron Horrigan, and firefighter Wayne Bradford, representing the Burnaby Fire Department and Burnaby Firefighters Charitable Association. The RCMP Honor Guard from the Burnaby RCMP Detachment, Staff Sergeant Andy LeClaire and Constable Sam Bowen. And it is their very pleasant task to witness the presentation of this check in the amount of $15,000 going to the Pat Quinn Legacy Fund. The tournament proceeds from this inaugural Pat Quinn Classic. And fans, give yourselves a big hand for being a part of this worthwhile fundraising endeavor. Now we have our starting centers. Please join us at the red carpet for our ceremonial face-off. And joining us on the carpet, representing the city of Burnaby, Councillor Paul McDonnell. From the visiting team for today's game, the Delta Wild, it is number 10, Lucas Smekovsky. And representing the Chicago Mission, number 18, Johnny Johnson. Gentlemen and Kelly, we thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Piper Allen Walters, and presented by Maury Keith and the Buick Auto Group, Vancouver Canucks anthem singer Mark Donnelly.
from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses dying. 'Tis you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be there in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when you come and all the leaves have fallen, and I am dead as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say, and are they there for me? And I shall hear, though soft you tread above me, and all my grave will warmer, sweeter be, and you will abend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard.
And here we are at the Bill Copeland Sports Center in Burnaby, British Columbia. The Pat Quinn Classic, final for the Bantam Elite level players. To our broadcast right, we will have the home team visiting from Chicago, the Chicago Mission. To our broadcast left, we'll be seeing the Delta Wild. Sure to be a good matchup. Both teams wearing somewhat of a green look, but green jerseys to our left, white jerseys to our right. The starting goaltenders for this one. For Chicago, Jackson Bernard will start this one out. And at the other end of the rink for Delta, it's Boston Bilu, as we mentioned earlier in the warm-up for our show. He's committed to Denver University at 14 years old. Very talented young goaltender. Pitched a shutout in the opening game. They did get another shutout earlier today, overcoming Los Angeles 3-0, but that was Roman Basran in net for that one. So two very talented goalkeepers for this Delta squad.
They are. I mean, Boston, you know, to be committed that young puts added pressure on such a young kid at that age, and he's handled it tremendously. He's had a really good year. He was in net, however, for the 6-2 loss to Chicago earlier in the round robin, so he needs to have a short memory. Now, the key to any goalie is a short memory, but they played him only a couple days ago, so for him, we'll see if he can recover and rebound from that.
It's good to mention that because the only loss that Delta suffered was at the hands of Chicago. 6-2 game. It sounds like a bit of a wide gap, but at this level, sometimes the games get away in the last little bit. So it was closer than maybe the score will tell you. So tonight is bound to be a very close one between these two. They're just getting ready to line up. Looks like Vlasic will be one of the defenders for Chicago. Interesting note, Mark Edward Vlasic, known NHLer, it's his cousin. So some familiar names on the Chicago squad. He is one definitely for sure. But here we go with the opening face-off. Chicago takes the puck, goes back in their own zone where Vlasic will chase it into the corner, being followed closely. Puck comes out to Johnny Johnson. He chips it out of his own zone. Here comes Toporowski. We talked about his speed. He's already away with it, but Cousins is the one back. We're gaining control of that. He sends it ahead. Johnny Johnson back in his own zone, wearing the C. Passes it over to Lido. He brings it out across center ice. Into the zone, chips it in. Chasing is Lindmark in the far corner. Lindmark wearing 22. He gets it out to Johnson. He tries to put something on net, but it's deflected into the corner. Johnny Johnson with it again. Sends it back to the point. Black looks for a shot, gets it in. It's knocked to the side. Out with the puck there. Delta brings it out of their own zone. Chicago sends it right back in. We'll see some changes.
It was offside. I mean, good.
There you go.
Good start to this game. I mean, you know, both these teams are nervous. It's really important to have short, hard shifts early in this game. You heard Gino Cavallini in the pregame show talking about getting everybody's feet wet, short shifts, hard shifts, get everybody into it, especially in a finals game. These players are nervous. They're young, and they need to get on the ice and touch the ice.
Definitely short shifts. Some longer ones earlier by Lethbridge in the semifinals ended up costing them, I think, with some tired defensemen at the end of the game. Shot from the point, swallowed up there by Bernard. We'll get another face-off deep in the Chicago zone.
Compared to Boston, I mean, Bernard's not a big goalie. You know, he might be 5'6", 5'7", and you look at Boston Billios and Delta, it's 6'2", 6'3". So for him, it's going to be about his position in the ice. He's got to be patient. He's got to stand up a little bit more than the bigger goalies would have to.
Just holding the line in. And we see Keane back in the corner for Chicago, sends it up ahead. Bumped out to Davies, but he can't get to it. Delta Wild will regroup in their own zone, but it's taken away by Mulak. Mulak drops it off to Davies. He gets a shot, it's knocked to the side. He follows up. Kufis in the corner, trying to work his way around the defenders, gets it back to the line where Vlasic is there. He chips it in low to Davies in the slot. His shot is deflected high and into the netting. Davies is definitely a noticeable fellow out there for his size we were talking about earlier. He's an imposing figure at center ice. He had a little trouble in the face-off dot in the semis, but that might have been more with Lethbridge, especially a young player by the name of Dick in particular was winning 99% of his draws, it seemed. Delta trying to come out of their own zone, turn it over. Lupina gets on the puck, chips it into the corner. Sends it across. Lito's there on the half boards. Tries to get it towards the net, but can't. Baines then picks it up for Delta, crosses the blue line, across to Cozens. Cozens across the opposition blue line, throws it in front to Baines, and he's tripped up. Had a good opportunity there. Was obstructed, and we'll see our first power play of the night.
Yeah, Cozens there's that speed we're talking about in the pregame show. I mean, the big players that can skate, he goes wide, makes a great pass over to Baines. Baines has to do what he has to do there. He's getting to the net, he gets dragged down. That's a great sign for Delta that they can get the Chicago Mission D turned around, and they have to take a penalty. So that was a real good transition play for them.
So Black in the box early, a power play, the first of the night for Delta. Quick clear from Chicago. It goes back to the other end. Bilu to leave behind his net. Chips it ahead. Delta will try to set up once again. Kent out of his own zone. They get the zone from Delorme, loose control, but the puck goes all the way back to Bilu once again. Bilu once again. Delta making the zone here. They're going to try and set up. Taken away once again by Chicago. That's Lindmark sending it back down directly under the goaltender.
Good pressure by Chicago, taking away the half wall. A lot of Bantam teams want to set up there. They're taking that half wall, the easy play on that half wall pass away, and Delta's going to have to make a bit of a different play, maybe get it deep and get on the forecheck a little bit more on this penalty kill, or on the power play.
Very aggressive penalty kill, though, for Chicago. They've got less than a minute remaining in this one. Davies gets it, tries to send it down the ice, fans on it a bit. Back comes Price, sending it in. Sent back by Vlasic, though. Nothing doing. Delta can't set up on this one. They're down to 45. 16:30 left in the first period.
They keep turning pucks over at the blue line. They got to chip it deep and send two on it and get on it. There's another turnover.
Jalen Price couldn't get the zone. They're going to change it up, try something different with this last 29 seconds they've got to go. Susenbacher Fu sends it ahead. Sveikovsky working his way in on the left side. He turns back, trying to set something up. He's got 15 seconds left on the power play. Sveikovsky on the half board, sends it back to Kent at the point. Looking for a shot, can't find a lane, gives it over to Gill. He throws it through the crease. Nothing there, no one there. Barfoot now behind the net. Fighting in the corner, the penalty is over. Gill gets to the point, quick shot. It's into the logo and swallowed up by Bernard.
Not much doing on that power play, and Chicago now can build some confidence off that big kill. Look, Gino Cavallini, their coach, is one of the best penalty killers to ever play the game of hockey in the NHL. He made a living, 600 games of killing penalties, so I'm not surprised they do have a great penalty kill.
Yeah, not much doing there for Delta. Black now sends it around the boards. Can't get it out, though. Delta still has the zone. Yapina has it at the line, though, sends it up to Barwell. Burnell. Chicago trying to make some noise in the zone. It's Schroeder, the hero from the semifinals. Works over to Barnell. He sends it back to the point where Black is. He takes a shot from wide. And the rebound is put in by Lupina there. Nice play in front of the net. Just picking up those dirty garbage rebounds in front.
Great shot from the point, keeping it low, keeping it in the pads. Bilius would probably like to control that rebound better, but his defense in front of him have to do a little bit better job of boxing out. You got to give Chicago credit for being fast on that rebound. Great low shot. As you can see, Black, he didn't fire it. He shot it low, the rebound. Great goal.
Great goal. That's his third of the tournament. Davies now for Chicago on the draw. You can see him using that size to tie things up.
Time of the goal, 4:46. Lopina from
a little bit of a
Black
scramble for the
at
puck in the Chicago
4:46.
zone. Lito comes out with it, tries to get it up to Mulak, but the puck goes all the way down the ice. We'll get an icing call.
Well, Delta's going to have a little pushback here. They had really not a good power play right before that Chicago goal. Chicago felt the momentum, used it, scored in the next shift. Now it's about heart and desire for Delta. It's about the coaches calming his bench down and saying, look, we're in this game. We need to have a big comeback shift here.
Kent holds the line. Far side, Craik was the one holding it at the half boards. Goes back to the point though. Nothing doing there. Lindmark stops the attempt, but hey, still in the zone. Delta sends it back to the line once again. Kent has it on the right side, sends it in around the board. Jalen Price tries to pick up behind the net. It goes out in front, a little bit of a scramble. Not sure where the puck is. There's a whole crowd of folks slamming away, and the play is whistled down, but the puck was still loose.
Good shot by Chicago, crashing down in front of their goalie.
We got a replay on the first goal of the night. Let's take a look at that one. It was a great point shot.
Started in the corner, nice bank pass back to the point. Throw it on net, and as you can see, two guys in front of the net. A lot of Delta players standing around, not picking anybody up, which ends up in the back of your net.
Schroeder there definitely running some traffic in front of the net. As we said earlier, Mr. Clutch, tying goal in the last game as well as the shootout winner. Davies comes out of a scrum along the boards, passes the puck back to Weiss. He's fighting off a check. Manages so far, but another man's on him. Delta's double teaming. The puck comes out to Mulak. He's going to flip it out on the boards. Stopped at the line by Gill. Chicago regains control. Weiss tripped up from behind there. Black gets it though, sends it up, tries to hit Davies, but it misses him. Back down for icing.
1-0 Chicago. Both these teams played their games this morning. 8:30 and at 9 o'clock. They would have been done about 11 o'clock. It's about getting lunch, trying to get a half an hour nap and get back to the rink. It's about survival right now and fitness.
Chicago now coming out of their own zone. Burnell tried to hold it on line, was Lupina, but just offside for that one. Chicago showing a lot of jump. They've been very good early in their games. They've got a lot of speed in their lineup. We've seen was Toporowski in the last game of the round robin. Split the D about 20 seconds in. We've seen them score a lot of goals early in first periods in this one. Got 13:30 left to go. Barfoot back to Price. Sends it around the boards. Picked off there by Chicago. Sends it front. Lupina again has another shot. Sends it back to the line though. Shot for the point from Schroeder. Schroeder feeds it over to Keene. Keene, the youngest player on the team, works his way into the slot, but passes back to the point. It evades Schroeder and Vlasic. Chicago moves back to regroup. Tyler Price back in his own zone. The pass was behind him. He has to take it behind his own net. Watching a check from Toporowski, you'll see his speed in this one. Jalen Price tried to break away there. Lito did a good job to get back. He tries to rub him out along the boards and take the puck. Does, kicks it behind his own net. Kent's trying to hold it on the line. He does. Johnson, though, in the way. Kent gets another one. It goes wide, but into the far corner. Black's chasing, being checked, though. And Chicago's able to clear the zone. Starting over once again. Toporowski, pardon me. Sends it in deep. Lindmark. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back after this. It's 1-0 right now for the Chicago Mission over the Delta Wild in the Quinn Classic Bantam Elite Final. We've got 12:22 remaining in the first period. Players getting a quick breather with this TV timeout. Seen a lot of action back and forth. A bit of trouble on Delta's end getting some sustained zone pressure, but they've put a couple of pucks on the net. And we look like we're going to set up here to see Chicago if they can push this lead with a face-off down in the Delta end.
I'm not surprised Yogi's got his board out here. He's big on video. He used to be the video man for the Vancouver Giants. He did that for years. Like, he is a video, he's like the Roger Nielsen of WHL hockey. He believes in it, his players believe in it. So I'm not surprised. We'll see what kind of adjustments he can make. To me, their big guys have to start playing and start using their speed, and we'll see if they can do it.
Off the draw, Delta gets possession. Kent fighting for it in the corner against Kufis. Kent's the one that comes out with it, though. Delta gets it down the other end, but looks like it'll be an icing call.
They're going to want to try to stretch Chicago's defense. Delta has speed. You can see on a play like that, yes, it went for icing, but what a play like that does is it backs Chicago's D up. Right now, they got a real good gap on Delta. You want to back them up, and that'll create more room through the neutral zone so Delta can use their speed.
Off the face-off, Delta has control. It's Cousins on the far side. They send it around the boards. Chicago tries to regain possession. They do. Chip it out of the zone. Delta sends it right back in, so Lito will be regrouping in his own end. Sends it ahead to Schroeder. He crosses the blue line, trying to work wide on the defender. Loses control of the puck, though. He's looking for an open man. Lito was tapping the stick, couldn't find him. Back to Quinn at the point. Quinn takes a shot. Lito gets it. It's a nice pass. Goalie way out of position. Quinn couldn't get it off. Nobody could, and the goalie's back. Quinn looking for a shot again. Fans on it. Still has possession, though. Sends it deep. Chased down by Burwell. Puck slides out to Lito. Back behind the net. Delta did a good job to break up that play, though, and here they come up the other way. Johnson, though, steals it. Johnny Johnston sends it to the middle. Toporowski puts one on net. Into the glove, though, of young Boston Bilou.
Great read by Johnson there. The defenseman stepping up. Once again, Delta doesn't want to gain the lines and get the puck deep, and it cost him on the power play earlier. It cost him a lot with turnovers through the neutral zone, and Chicago's got a great transition game, so they got to clean that up, start getting pucks deep if you're a Delta coach.
Lindmark now works his way behind the Delta goal, sends it back to the point where Vlasic is. Vlasic back to Lindmark. He misses the pass. Slides back to Johnson. He can't get to it, but Toporowski does. Now Johnson takes control. Tried to feed the point to Weiss. Can't. Turnaround play. Jalen Price working his way around Weiss. He's working his way to the net. Has a man in front. Can't take the pass, and Vlasic has it and sends it back down the ice. Chicago will be wiping a bit of sweat from their brow.
Great rush from Price.
Great rush
Speed,
from Price.
Size. Pass was a little bit off, just a little bit. So sure enough, they didn't get the open net goal, but tremendous rush. That's what you want to see from Delta.
Couple more of those, and Delta can't be far behind. Just over 10 minutes to go in the first period. Still 1-0 Chicago. Off the draw, Tyler Price puts it in. Lito, though, gains control. Stolen here. Delta gets taken down. Behind the net to Lito. Lito sends it out. Kufis has it. Tried to get it into the middle, but can't. He gets it back, though. Works his way across center ice. Davies now has it, working his way with 3 Delta players on him. The puck just slides off his stick and into the goalie. We're going to face off deep.
Cavallini running his bench, short shifts by Yogi, Gino Cavallini. These guys know how important it is. You don't want to tire your big guns out in first periods of these tournaments. It's a lot of games and not a lot of days. You want a short bench for the first periods, and if you got to go with your gunners, your big time players more in the third, they'll have legs for that.
Here comes Black out of his own zone, feeds Schroeder. He just has to chip it ahead. Rapina chasing. He's the goal scorer from earlier in this period. Cousins gets it for Delta, sends it around. Here they come out of their own net. And Chicago just sends them back. Happy to keep Delta out of their own end. Kent has it back in his own zone, looking to start something. Hop Blue has to start over at his own blue line. Jalen Price trying to feed someone in front again. Chicago gets in the way, but it looks like we had a penalty behind the play. Kent was taken down.
Yeah, it was Cousins had a real big hit on the far side. Really a nice clean hit, and the Chicago Mission player came in, felt it was a dirty hit him high. So Chicago very undisciplined on that play to take a penalty like that. Delta, not a great first power play in this period, but they do have a tremendous power play. I've seen it in person, so I expect that they will get better chances on this one.
So they're calling that a headshot, high hit on Lapina. Chicago will have to kill this one off again, but they had great success in their first kill of the period. They win the draw. Try to get up along the boards to Toporowski. He's able to clear the zone.
Joshua Lapina, 2 minutes for contact to the head.
Chicago very
Time of the
aggressive
penalty,
on the first
10:44.
penalty kill. We'll see if Delta makes the adjustments they have. I get pucks a little bit deeper. You can't turn pucks over at red lines and blue lines on a power play. You have to set it up, get it deep, then work it back to the points.
Delta now trying to start out on this power play. They've still got 1 minute and 30 seconds with which to work, but Toporowski is the guy. He's playing a very aggressive penalty kill, sends it up ahead. It's chased by Lindmark. He tries to work his magic. Toporowski follows it up and puts it in the back of the net. He's excited. Nice goal. Great play. Started in his own end, and he's the man that got the takeaway.
Started with yet another Delta turnover on their power play. Tremendous flip pass by Toporowski to start it. Speed skated onto it with Davies, and sure enough, he follows it up with the open net tap in.
He's got great speed. We get to see it in this one. Here's the replay. Lindmark just puts it on net, and Toporowski was following it right to the net. That's what you got to do. Follow those pucks up, put pucks on net.
Short-handed goal. Gino Cavallini, we mentioned it earlier. He knows how to penalty kill. Very aggressive. And Delta's playing very nervous so far this period.
That's the 7th goal of the tournament for him as well, Toporowski.
He is the leading goal scorer for the elite Bantam division in all of the USA.
In the US, he is the top goal scorer,
He is the big dog.
Delta has a chance here, goes to the front of the net. Hopwood puts it on net, swallowed up. We're gonna send things downstairs to Vanessa right now. I think she's being joined by Kirk McLean.
I'm here with Kirk McLean, a former Canuck, obviously a goalie. You had Pat Quinn as a coach. So many memories you probably have with Pat Quinn. But let's start with, what made you come to the tournament today to start?
Well, obviously to support the minor hockey and you know what Burnaby has done for this particular tournament itself. But with the big guy's name on it, it certainly was a big draw for a lot of our alumni. We played an alumni game last night against some of the coaches that are participating in the tournament. So it's quite a fun time, and you know, with his legacy, it's just something that is an automatic for all of us to do.
And talk about that legacy. If you could sum up, what is the legacy that Pat Quinn left for so many people such as yourself?
Well, I mean, for a lot of us, you know, I had him as a coach and GM for 11 years. You know, so you know, he was like a father figure to myself and a lot of the other players. So still very close, obviously, to his wife and his the rest of his family, his daughters. So it's you know, it's just something where he taught us how to be men. Basically, we grew up together and taught us how to be pros, and you know, he respected us as players and as people. And I think you know, that's what he also did with everybody he ran into. And you know, his love for the game and his love for minor hockey is something that's going to carry on now with his name on it.
I think it's so important for coaches. You need to really create that foundation of friendship, almost like a fatherhood, right?
Yeah, I mean, even though it's a business, you still, you know, he cared about his players, genuinely cared about his players, and not just their on-ice production, but what they were doing in their lives away from the rink. And you know, that was just the type of person he was. He was that way with his family and whatever other friends were in his category.
Seems to have, his guidance seems to have helped you as well. So.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, Kirk, that should be good. Yeah, thank you so much.
So we got 30 seconds left in the kill here for Chicago. They've already got one shorthanded. They're still playing rather aggressively on this kill. Delta regroups back in their own end once again. They're having trouble establishing zone pressure. Svejkovsky, 5'2", extremely talented player though. Drops it off at the line. Delta trying to make the zone. They dump. Chased down by Weiss. He doesn't get there, but Schroeder does. Coming out of his own end. Lapina about to join his teammates. He's out of the box. Chicago sends it in, though. We'll see some changes.
Chicago's winning a lot of the one-on-one battles right now. They're a little bit bigger team than Delta, but Delta's going to start winning a lot more of them. Way too many turnovers the first period for the Delta team.
Giveaway there by Siesenbacher. Fu Johnson was the one that got one on net. The puck still loose in front of the goal. Put towards the goal by Kufis. He's working it around, tries to get it back to Johnson. Johnson looking for somebody in front. Burwell gets knocked down. Puck comes out, but it's regained by Delta. Getting out of their own end. Cousins can't catch the puck. Goes all the way down the ice. We'll have another icing call. 6:34 left here in the final for the Bantam Elite game between Chicago and Delta at the Pat Quinn Classic in Burnaby. We're on Shaw TV live. Gary Volk, Vanessa Ibarra downstairs, and Paul McClellan, myself here on play-by-play. Really enjoying the opportunity to spend the last couple of days here around these great families, these great players, and the great organizers of this event. It's overall been a great success. A lot of people making new friends from all over the place.
And that's what it's all about.
Weiss has it back at the blue line, puts it toward that, and it goes in. Top corner, glove side. Chicago's up 3-0. We're still 6:27 left in the first period. And Chelsea Daggers raining down.
We said Boston had to have a short memory. He lost 6-2 to the Chicago team in the round robin. Boston Bullies, very disappointing for him. He is an early commit to Denver University. You can't really fault him. I thought, the first or second goal, even that goal, Yogi's going to make the change to the goalie who got the shutout in the morning.
Yeah. So Roman Bassran is in net now, wearing number 1. Got a shutout this morning, maybe a little bit fatigued, but at the same time, at this age, they're pretty durable guys. I think he'll be happy to get in there and do what he can to get his team back in this one. Toporowski with some great pressure there. Delta able to drive it away from him. Lindmark picks it back up, sends it to the point. Vlasic doesn't find a lane, gives it over to Weiss. Weiss sends it back to Vlasic. He's in the middle of the ice, tries to put it through the crowd, can't. And they've still got it, though. Weiss has it over to Davies. He can't quite connect. Puck is in the corner. Toporowski gets it to Davies. Davies trying to use his size, working around. Chicago still keeping that pressure deep, and finally Delta gets it out of the zone, but Vlasic sends it right back in. Delta looking for some kind of life, wanting to get back into this one. Here they come into the zone. Streaking in from the middle, it's Baines. Stayed with the puck, kept bouncing away from him and bouncing back, but it's out into the corner. Delta still has control. That's Baines. Works it back to Sveikovsky. Baines has it now, near side, puts it on net. Nice little attempt. Crash to the front. Looks like Bernard's got a hold of it. We've got a whistle.
This is...
we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here at the Pac Wing Classic on Shaw TV. Nothing for the Chicago Mission with 5:13 left in the first period here at the Pat Quinn Classic Bantam Elite Final. You're on Shaw TV with Paul McClellan and Gary Volk. Chicago has really dominated this game. We like to support the local content. Hopefully Delta's still got some fire in their bellies, and I know they do. But it's an impressive showing from Chicago.
It is. It's total domination. And it starts with their great penalty kill. They got a shorthanded goal. Delta's known for their power play, and I don't believe he's got they haven't got a shot on net in 2 power plays, and they've given up a shorthanded goal. So, Chicago is very well coached. They're both good, well coached teams. It's going to be about adjustments for Delta. For me, they've turned the puck over too much. They got to start getting pucks deep, start getting on the Chicago defensemen. They've had no in-zone coverage or in-zone time this whole game. So we'll see if they kind of get back to the basics of the game and quit having so many turnovers.
Off the face-off, Cozens sends it back to the line where Gill wraps it around back to Cozens behind the Chicago net. Trying to hold on to it against Vlasic. Sends it back. Baines now has it on the far side. Sends it back to the point. LaRue gets a shot off. Deflected just wide of the net. Vlasic's the one that picks it up there behind his own net. Sends it ahead to Burwell. It's ahead now. Kufis tried to get a shot off. Goes into the corner. Baines follows up. Brings it around. Chips it out of his zone. From Delorme. Fighting with Weiss along the boards for it. Gill comes up to help him out. From Delorme in the zone. Cousins break into the net. Puck's on net, still loose. Kufis around the back. Chicago's got control. Keane, youngest player on the team, really drives the offense from the blue line though. You'll see some speed from him, I'm sure, throughout the game. Gives it over to Weiss. He makes zone entry, puts it on net. High shot, not much of a threat. Chicago though, Toporowski tried to get it in the slot, couldn't quite corral that one. Kent takes him down. Battle for the puck behind the net. Coming out with that is Delta. Still sort of fighting it a bit, trying to get control from Delorme. Sends it ahead. Cousins can't take it out of the zone though. Johnson giving him trouble. Lindmark throwing a big hit, but finally Delta gets it out. Chipping it in deep is Susenbacher Fu. Gets a shot from an awkward angle. Chicago regains control. Weiss sends it into the corner. Lindmark around the boards. Gets it to his defenseman. They cleared the zone. Tyler Price couldn't get that along the boards, and they do get an icing call.
Couple good last shifts for Delta. It started with their #1 line. To me, the best player for them has been Archdeep Baines. He's big. He's had the puck a lot. He's got some of the best hands I've seen for that age group around locally in the Lower Mainland. And he's using his size and he's using his hands the last couple shifts. They need a lot of keep that up if you're that big line for Delta.
Yeah, nice to see him taking some responsibility, really driving that play forward. Fight deep in the zone. Price trying to get a hold of it. Barfoot now as well. Chicago keeps it in the corner though. Mulak can't get it out. Hoffman keeps it in. Chicago takes another shot. But Delta's putting some good pressure on here. Jalen Price gets it to Hoffman. He's knocked down along the sideboard. Schroeder has it. He chips it up along the glass, down the ice. Heads in towards new goalie Roman Bastram. Doesn't quite get there. Chicago trying to regain control. Schroeder trips over his own man Mulak. Still has the puck though, working his way out of the corner, breaking towards the net. Cuts behind. Fighting off a couple of Delta Wild players. Jalen Price, the man that comes out with it. Delta comes up, feeding Barfoot. Keane for Chicago, crosses center ice. His teammates are changing, he's waiting for help. Now he breaks in using that speed, cutting towards the net. He's driven wide. Nice little defensive play there by Lucas Fejkowski. Chicago still has control though. Weiss at the line. His shot deflected high, into the glass. Behind the net for Kufis. Kufis fighting off a couple of Wild players, using his size. Backed up by Davies, another big body. Kufis comes out, set to the front. Delta gets it clear though. Cozens can't get control at center ice though, and Keane sends it back in. Just under 2 minutes to go in the first period. 3-0 for Chicago at this point over Delta. Cousins has it at center for Delta. Tries to chip it in, gives it away. Price behind his own net. Tip the net. Cousins is able to regain control of the puck. Sends it in deep to From Delorme. Sends it back to the line to Gill. Gill in low. Nice chance there, but nothing doing. Puck goes to the corner, and Toporowski picks it up. He's happy to chip it out, give his mates a change. We're going to get an icing call. 1:22 left on the clock. Remember, folks, as well, on Friday, January the 1st, we'll have live coverage on Shaw TV from Calgary of the Max Major Midget Tournament. Talking about winter tournaments, that is a very high action one. I remember a few years ago, Adam Tambolini putting on quite a show in the final. 9 o'clock a.m. is the women's in the afternoon. We've got the boys. It's always a great day of hockey, flipping around on all sorts of channels, but Shaw TV especially, that support the local kids.
I played in that tourney many, many moons ago, and it was one of the highlights of my amateur career.
Delta here trying to get something before the first intermission comes up. Jalen Price over the line, gets it to Hopwo. Chicago sends them back, though. Sends Kent chasing into his own zone. Black gives it up to Johnson. Johnson at center, tries to feed Toporowski. It's too far ahead for him. He's still on it, though. Feeds Lindmark in the corner. Looking for help, drops it down to Johnny Johnson. Johnny Johnson can't hold on to it, but he regains control. And Delta whacks it free. Black to Vlasic at center, 40 seconds on the clock. Vlasic in the middle, Lindmark streaking in. He's a talented scorer and backhands to stick side. 4-0 Chicago.
Bad change. Last 2 goals, that was a bad change. I mean, you got under a minute left in the first period. You're down 3-0. You just got to get the pucks deep before you make that big of a change. And Chicago, with that speed, with that talent, they're not going to miss many breakaways if you give them.
No, they've been all about speed this tournament, taking advantage of other people's mistakes.
That was one of the first shots Roman, the new Delta goalie who came in, has had to face, and it's a breakaway to one of the most talented players in this tournament. You can't fault him. You got to help your backup goalie or your number 2 goalie or your 1A and 1B goalie a little bit better than that, especially when your starter gets pulled.
Oh, and Lindmark, yeah. Another chance down low, but it's covered up. Yeah, Lindmark 23 points right now in the USA High Performance League. That's good enough for 4th in the nation. So they have a couple of very highly touted offensive talents running this offense. You can't give them chances like that.
Chicago travels everywhere. There's a great team in Florida. There's one in Denver. Colorado's got a great team. The LA Kings are here. Anaheim Ducks have a team. All the Detroit teams, CompuWare. That speaks volumes that he's the 5th leading scorer. There's so much talent in the USA hockey right now.
So, first period comes to an end, 4-0 Chicago here at the Pat Quinn Classic. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up lots, including an interview with Cliff Ronning.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Prince George Cougars hit the highway south for a huge battle with the arch-rival Kamloops Blazers. Tune in Wednesday, January 6th, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain for great junior hockey action.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor here at Levitt Machinery, inviting you to watch Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw.
The Pat Quinn Classic Championship game in Burnaby, BC is live on Shaw TV.
Back here at the Pat Quinn Classic, the Bantam Elite Final. Chicago up 4-0 at this point. A great game so far if you're a Chicago fan. Delta's still looking for more, though.
They are, and it's about their coach, Yogi Shlivzowski, now about settling his group down. You got the intermission to settle his team down, make the adjustments you have to. 4-0 is not a massive score to come back from at 14-year-old hockey.
No. So we're going to dissect this game a little bit more later, but we've got Cliff Ronning downstairs right now with Vanessa Ibarra.
Here, so 94. I'm here with Cliff Ronning, who obviously Pat Quinn was one of your coaches. What's your best memory, you'd say, of Pat Quinn? He was your coach for 5 years.
Yeah, I think, obviously our best memory was with Pat was the 94 run with our team. Pat was the type of person that really brought people together. And not only our hockey team became great friends in the end, but we came so close that year to winning the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, can you talk about what was the feeling when he really started to turn the team around in '94? That's what he was known for. What was that feeling like for you as athletes?
Yeah, you know, it was an interesting year. We weren't that good in the regular season, but it just seemed Pat could get the best out of us at all times, and he just felt that we were underachieving, and he let us know. And then from then on, we just seemed to follow his lead. You know, once he punched the Gatorade bottle, the big Gatorade can right off the table with one punch, and he kind of got our attention pretty quick.
Yeah, that'll do it for sure. And how do you think, obviously he's had such a legacy here in Burnaby, the West Coast, how has he changed the face of coaching as part of his legacy?
Well, I think Pat really is known as just a humble, a great man, that a family man that really loved the game of hockey and wanted to put that passion back to the young youth. And that's why I, you know, being the honorary chair, I was so excited to be a part of it, because to me it's about the youth 3-4 years down the road that they might not know he is, but what he stood for in the game of hockey. And that's what's important, is the integrity. Play as hard as you can, try your best as an athlete. And I mean, my best friends are from '94, and we even lost that year.
Still good memories. So you threw the Gatorade. Any other pivotal memories, your best memory of Pat Quinn, or that's kind of hard to beat?
I remember one game he got so mad, and he wouldn't get mad all the time, but I remember him throwing a piece of gum at the ref, and I couldn't believe it. But he was a big opposing man, and but humble and very respected right across Canada, from the Vancouver Canucks to the Toronto Maple Leafs to Hockey Canada and Team Canada winning gold the first time in so many years. So, I mean, it's just an honor. And now he's going to be going in the IHF Hall of Fame for all of Europe. So, just amazing person. I'm glad to be one of many that are doing their best to keep the legacy alive.
Some huge shoes, that for sure. Thank you for joining me, Clef.
All right, thank you.
Okay, well, the host club of the Pat Quinn Classic have also had their share of success, and our Iman Agahi recently spoke to them to find out their ways of excellence by talking to their Bantam AAA team.
Meet the hosts of the 2015 Pat Quinn Classic, the Burnaby Winter Club. The Bantam AAA come into the tournament in the midst of another strong season and are excited to face top-tier competition right here at home.
Guys get to sleep in their own beds for a change. Usually we're traveling to Notre Dame, Indiana, St. Albert, Alberta, and Medicine Hat to play against in these high-level tournaments. And now it's in our backyard. We've got Notre Dame and Lethbridge, and Chicago, and Delta and Yale, like some good academy teams here. So it's really good to face this type of, it's better for the kids to face this type of competition.
When we go back to play in our league, it's a lot better because of these great teams, and we got to play a lot better and harder.
It's not by accident that the Bruins attract and produce some of the area's brightest young hockey players.
It's a pretty rigorous schedule they have with the Bantam AAAs.
We practice almost every other day for sure, so 4 or 5 times a week, and we're in the gym twice a week, right? And plus 2 games a week usually, so that's just a lot of development for me.
And the close relationship these players have built up with their teammates and coaches and then translate to chemistry on the ice.
These guys, yeah, this is a pretty tight team.
And with the team, it's just great bonding. We're like brothers with each other, and with the coaches, they help as mentors with us.
No hard feelings, no jealous, nothing, all that stuff, right? You're gonna pass to him, he's gonna pass back to you, right? You know that stuff. And trust in one another, because like, he's your best friend, right? He's gonna do what's good for the team.
Most of the kids that come to us have got their head on right, they're good scholastically. You just try to teach them to be better young men. It's not always about winning hockey games, it's about doing the right thing and being a good teammate. Like right now we got 4 guys going to Harvard, which is pretty remarkable for one association. So and a lot of guys now that I've coached in the past are firemen or police officers. So, you know, it's not all about just becoming a player, it's about becoming a better person. For me, I just got to teach them concepts and stuff like that because their skill level is so high.
And this talent is on full display every time the Bruins hit the ice. Ahmad Agahi at the Pat Quinn Classic in Burnaby for Shaw TV.
Now, the Burnaby Winter Club, an amazing hockey team, upset by the Los Angeles Junior Kings, who lost in the semis. But what do you know a little bit about this team? They if they had made it to the final, what would it have meant to them, and what kind of hockey would we have been seeing?
It would have meant a lot, for sure. I mean, as one of the host teams, I'm at the North Shore Winter Club. My son, we play against them. They beat us 3 times this year, 3 close games. We're that close to beating them. I really like their team. I like how they're coached. They got grit. They got size. They're fast. They have skill. They have it all. They fell to a hot goalie, the LA Kings goalie. I believe his name's Dustin Wolf. His last name's Wolf. Had 40-plus stops against him for LA, and you lose.
Nearly 50 shots, I think, by
they
the
had
end. But they got Rob Blake behind the bench. They got some talented guys.
Blake Nelson, Emerson, Blake. Yeah.
So big thanks to Burnaby for hosting this. But let's go back to the period. We did see Chicago and Delta, some great hockey. We're going to roll through the replay of the 4 goals that they got, a 4-0 lead.
Well, the first one is a great play. Just get it back to the point. Quick shot by Black. Great rebound.
Traffic from Schroeder.
It's in the net. A lot of Bantam goals go in like that. Coaches work on that play a lot. They don't need the big slapper from the point. This is a great play. Short-handed. Rebound. Toporowski found the puck, flipped it up, gets skated into, follows it up for the rebound.
And he started that up in his own zone with a nice takeaway. That was the short-handed one.
And here's another one right here. Just what do? Throw it on net with traffic. Boston Bulios, that was the last goal he let in because he got pulled right after that. That's maybe the only one you could fault him on. But, sure enough, he gets pulled. One of the first shots that Delta gives up.
It's one of those ones you don't always expect, but he put it on net because he saw a bit of a hole. And, you know what? You put those on net. Wayne Gretzky was the guy, I think, that said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So he's getting a good shout-out in this game. I guess Wayne deserves that.
Wayne deserves a little bit just because it was funny. Pat Quinn, actually, he wanted me to check Wayne Gretzky.
How did that go?
And it was in L.A. We're in the playoffs. And he had 18 points in 5 games against us. So he said, Balky, I mean, I don't think it worked that well. It's like, didn't work, but we're not going to check him anymore.
So I think we'll have the 4th goal coming up in a second here. Oh, we got it right now.
Well, here's one of the first shots that Roman, I don't remember his last, the new goalie that just came in from Boston. Roman Bassrat, who got a shutout this morning against the LA Kings. Really good goalie as well. That's his first shot he has to face is a breakaway to one of the most gifted players in USA hockey.
Yeah.
Pretty tough. I mean, Delta has to get a little bit smarter in getting pucks deep. I know Yogi, the way he coaches, he likes a transition game. He doesn't like to dump the puck in. He likes to gain the blue line on the rush. But Chicago's D are doing a great job with their gap control. At some point, you have to dump it in, make their big D turn around, and just get back to a little simpler game.
So we're going to take a quick break now. We'll come back, talk a little bit more about the game. You're on the Pat Quinn Classic on Shaw TV. Paul McClellan, Gary Volk. See you in a second.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Prince George Cougars hit the highway south for a huge battle with the arch rival Kamloops Blazers. Tune in Wednesday, January 6th, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain for great junior hockey action.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor here at Levitt Machinery, inviting you to watch Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw.
The Pat Quinn Classic Championship game in Burnaby, BC is live on Shaw TV.
So I guess if we're talking about the keys for Delta wanting to come back, it's a 4-0 game. They've still got 40 minutes of action. What do you think are the keys with shutting down a team like Chicago with the size and the speed that they have?
We can't turn the puck over as much. They're taking advantage of turnovers, and they're taking advantage of them with speed. So if you're Delta, you got to kind of dumb it down a little bit. You got to just have a little more grit along the boards, chip and chase a little bit. Make Chicago's D turn around. Chicago's defense aren't even tired right now. I mean, they've just survived on turnovers. You haven't made them turn. You haven't hit them. Yogi's a smart coach. I think he can make those adjustments. Now, does Delta have the gunners to go out there and say, look, we got to change how we play? Delta is a puck possession hockey club. They've played that way for years. They've played against my son's team for years. They're really hard to play against. But Chicago's defense are doing a good job of standing their speed up, so you got to make them turn and go get the pucks out of the corners. We'll see if they can do it. Now, Chicago, are they going to get complacent? I don't know. I think with Gino Cavallini coaching, he's going to preach consistency. He's still going to preach short shifts like he mentioned in the pregame show. Are they going to get tired? Possibly. Delta does roll their lines. I mean, they have a deep team. Chicago tends to go with their star players a little bit more than Delta. Can Delta tire them out? But they can only if they don't turn the puck over.
Now, Delta won the 2015 Chilliwack Bantam AAA tournament back in October. They've got some experience on this type of stage, but do you think the sort of jitters when you are down 4-0, is it more just a matter of getting those players grounded, I guess, and believing in themselves at this point?
Well, like Yogi said in the pregame, he said in the last 4 years, every team that has beat them, the only time they've ever lost to that team for a second time in a row is either in a shootout or overtime. Well, now they're down 4-0. So obviously, you know, his record could go by the wayside, but that speaks volumes about the way he can change the game around with his game plan. He can change on the fly. So we'll see if he can preach that to his players. But they need a belief too. They need a belief in the room. These kids are 14. All right, like they're going to be like pouty. They're going to be whiny. They're going to be.
You hope they won't, but you know,
well,
14-year-olds.
it's up to the coach right now to do this.
Yeah,
guys, we can do it.
It's not over.
It's not over.
Chicago got 4 goals in the first period. Who's to say they can't get 4 goals in this period?
Pat Quinn, like Cliffy said, would just go in and punch a Gatorade bottle. It's all one of those big. I played in that game too. The stories about Pat as well. Like I love the guy. Like he coached me a lot of times. He had big troubles with the chalkboard.
Yeah.
So he'd have the chalk. He always wore black because it made him maybe look a little leaner or bigger. I don't know, tougher. He'd always wear chalk everywhere. And then he dropped the chalk, and it was Ricky Lee's, the assistant coach's job, to pick the chalk up. Oh, it was
Poor
awesome.
Rick.
Poor Ricky Lee. It was his job to pick the chalk up and dust them off. Cigars, and chalk on every suit he had.
Classic hockey, Rick Lee's mustache, a lot of memories flooding back. But we're getting ready for the start of the second period here. We're just going to see the opening faceoff now. Chicago takes it deep into the Delta zone. They've got it down the corner. Lindmark trying to get control of that one. Delta wrestling it away from them. Bit of a scrum. You take it, I got it. Delta get a chance now to restart in their own zone. That's Susenbauer-Fu giving it away to Johnson. Johnson gives it away to Kent. A little bit of back and forth. Delta just trying to get out of the zone at this point. Here they come. They got a potential 2-on-1. Hopwu throws it high and wide. Rebound comes out to the half-boards. Toporowski sends it to the middle. Vlasic now across center ice. He's looking up. Sends it back to Johnson. His shot deflects wide. Vlasic chasing. He's in deep. Defenseman sends it in behind the net. Delta battles it away. Looking for their own quick start to this one. Schroeder, though, stops it from getting out of the Delta zone. Rapina battles it away from Wozni. Delta does regain control, though. Here they come, Corson Hopwu. Barfoot chips it in. Vlasic back in his own end behind the net. Chips it around the side. Black can't get control of that one. Delta trying to take advantage of that giveaway. It's Burwell. Black can't get that one there. Here come the Delta Wild. Just trying to get some control in the zone, work the puck around. LaRue there sends it in. Little wide stick side. Cousins now onto it on the far side. Sends it in deep. Puck goes around too far where Vlasic retrieves it. And he sends it right down the ice. Just wide of the net. We'll get a little face-off here. 17:58 to go in the second period. 4-0 Chicago over Delta.
Good start for Delta. Now they just got to get some shots and test Bernard a little bit more. than what they've been. Just throw pucks on them. We saw Chicago score a couple goals. How? Just throwing pucks on the net. Delta's got to get a few more shots on Bernard.
Pucks on net. There's your key. Baines behind the net. Davies tries to fight that one out using his size. Knocks a guy down. No calls there. Kufis now has it. Can't quite control it. Delta trying to take advantage here. Soskowski sends it to the front of the net. Puck is bouncing in the crease, and it's Keane that comes out with it. Looks like we have a penalty, though. Cross-check.
Cross-check to Weiss in front of the net. Great shift again by Delta. Now gain some momentum on this power play. Great start to the period for them.
Now we're going to see the Chicago penalty kill was outstanding in the first period. Very aggressive. Got a short-handed marker. We should note that if they get a 5-goal lead, the clock switches to running time. So Delta does not want that to happen because the clock starts slipping away from you even faster. Chicago gets that draw, though. Can't get it out of the zone. Black does, though. Back down on Roman Basran, who got the shutout this morning. Came in relief after the 3rd goal of the night here by Chicago. Krike has it on the near side boards. Tries to feed Hopwu. He can't take the pass. Lido has it. Gives it away. Here we're seeing Delta set up on their power play. Minute 30 still left in that one. Battle behind the net. That's Barfoot on the half boards. Sends it in behind. Hopwu. Looking for something. Sends it back to the line. Tyler Price. Back to Hopwu. Gets a shot to Craig. He fires in his own rebound, and we've got a goal for Delta.
That's the power play they needed. Their first 2 power plays weren't great. That one, they set up on the half wall, got it back to the points, got some traffic in front of the net. Now, 14-year-old Bantam hockey. We'll see Chicago starts panicking or how they're going to play this, but Delta needed that goal early in the second period, and this game's far from over.
That's Krike's 3rd of the tournament. He's got 6 points. And Delta again gains possession after that faceoff, seeing if they can build off their first of the night. But here comes Vlasic into the Delta zone. Breaking wide into Johnson in front of the net. He can't find it. Vlasic there couldn't quite get a hold of it there. Basran knocked it wide, and out comes Delta. Svikovsky trying to feed something in front of the net. You can see some energy here with Delta. Kent trying to hold the line. Kent comes just outside. They're going to have to tag up. Schroeder sends it back to Keane. Gives it away. 3 guys in. Jalen Price feeds Baines. He gets a nice shot. That's a shoulder save by Bernard. Behind the net where Vlasic sends it around outside. Schroeder out of his own end. Johnson couldn't quite hang on to that one. Here comes Cousins for Delta across the blue line. Looks for someone in front. Comes back to the line. Cousins puts it towards the net. Cousins couldn't get it in front of the net. Rome Delorme throws it back to the line, still held in. LaRue looking for a shot, gets it right to the crest. Cousins around behind the net. Cousins sends it to the line for Delta. Knocked out to center from there. Seeing some sloppy passing here. Chicago trying to regain control, but Delta gets it. Here comes LaRue. Up the near side, stop the line. Hopwu brings it in, but just offside.
Another good shift for Delta. 3 shots on net. Couple point blank chances for Baines on that shift, and that's the guy you want with the puck on his stick. He's got a tremendous knack for scoring. He's got nice hands. 2-on-1 down low. You got to give Bernard credit on that save. He made a real good right toe save on that.
Baines is a dangerous guy. He's got 11 goals and 7 assists through the regular season. Chicago, Kulak sends it in. Basran tries to fire it up to Jalen Price. It gets there, but he gives it away to Davies. Jalen Price follows up, though. Can't quite get it out of his own zone. He does on his second attempt. Hopwu now trying to fight it in. Definitely some energy here. Delta streaking in. Barfoot with a nice behind-the-back pass. Ended up being a shot. Back comes Chicago. Bernard behind his own net. Black picks it up from there. Giveaway here now in front. Barfoot wide open. Nice defensive play there by Weiss. Without that, it would have been an easy shot from the slot. Puck goes back to the line. Toporowski looking for somebody as he streaks into the corner. Vlasic holds the line, sends it to the far side. The corner goes to Kufas. Puck knocked away from Baines. Chicago retains possession. Vlasic now trying to chip it back in. Heads to the corner, 3 of his men on. Pressing on the D. Vlasic racing in to try and keep it. He does. 3 Delta players converge, can't get it out. Big shot from the point from Lindmark. Whips around Toporowski, throws it in front of the net. Nobody could deflect that one. Vlasic again holds the line. Some sustained pressure from Chicago here.
Vlasic plays a lot like his uncle, Mark Edward Vlasic. Plays a lot like him.
Yeah, there's some genetics
Chicago.
there. I think
there
a cousin.
is. Good, smart defenseman, smooth, has the puck a lot, good passes.
They probably do some training together.
Yeah, you'd think. You never know.
Lido behind his own net. Chicago, nice little chip play there by Kufas. He works his way into the zone, sends it in front. Wow, right 5-hole. That's a goal by Toporowski. That guy using his speed, heading straight to the net. It was a little chip. What a goal, 77.
Great pass by Schroeder on that. He worked it over, made the nice chip play on the boards. Their number 1 line got on the board with a real nice pass. Nice finish by Toporowski, too. A lot of kids at Bantam, they want to go top shelf. They're not really shooting 5-hole on goalies. They just want to go bar down, but that was a nice backhand, little shit between the legs on Roman. He hasn't had many shots, but he's had 2 breakaways he's had to stop. He's been unable to stop them.
And Toporowski, you don't want that guy coming in on you. That's his 2nd of the night already. Delta now trying to build off that sustained pressure they had for the first 5 minutes or so. We got about 12:30 to go in the second period, though. It's 5-1 Chicago over Delta. Just another goal for Chicago, but there was one before that from Delta, so we're not quite at a 5-goal lead. Still got stop time on the clock, so lots of opportunities for Delta.
It's a big goal for Chicago. It's a tough one for Delta to give up, but they're 20-minute stop time period, so there's lots of time.
LaRue holds the line there. Cousins has it in the near side corners. Works his way behind the net. Sends it back to the line. LaRue now tries to put one on net. Blocked by Johnson. He chips it up down the ice.
That's something we didn't do in Bantam when I was young, was block shots.
No.
Now every kid is doing it. And they're getting benched if they're not doing it.
Oh, they got a player from Point Roberts on the team in Delta. Maybe there's some John Tortorella factor in this.
I guess so.
Chicago here with some pressure. Mulak in the slot. Sends it wide, stick side.
That's what we should ask Cliff Ronning in the intermission, is how many shot blocks he had in Bantam hockey. I would say, what? Shot block? What?
Delta now circling back at their own zone. Give away to Keene. Keene's got some moves. Works his way around. Gets a shot into the crest. Pass ran there, holding his ground.
Keene's the only 2002 born player on Chicago. Delta has one as well. Burnaby Winter Club example would, I believe they had 4. So a lot of teams around British Columbia have, because we have 2-year age groups. You have a bunch of 2-year age groups, so 2002s and 01s playing together. North Shore Winter Club, we have 4. So it is, you know, for a U.S. team to have a underager, as they would call it, on their team, he's a special player.
Definitely.
Keene, you can see it. He stood out. He's been very smooth offensive defenseman. He took a penalty here. He's taking Lucas Shivslowski off with him. That's actually a pretty good, you know, Lucas is one of the Delta's best players, most offensive players. That's not a bad trade-off if you're Keene.
Yeah, coincidental penalties there. Still 5-on-5. But yeah, Keene really drives the offense from the blue line as far as Chicago's concerned. Vlasic as well But Keen's made some moves. I don't want to throw out names like Bobby Orr, but he definitely did some end-to-end streaking in the couple of games I've seen.
Is it Mike Keen's nephew or something? Didn't Mike Keen wear number 45?
He wore number 9, I remember, and I was wondering for a bit if it's 4 plus 5, but from what I heard from Chicago, you look for those clues, but no, I've heard no relation to Mike Keen.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Sure, Mike Keen is his grandfather.
Yes,
Mike Keen,
let's go with it.
Don't think he's that old.
No, he's not.
Don't think he lasted when Vancouver still had the farm team in Chicago. Don't think he was there at that point.
No.
There we go. Vlasic sends it out. Wozni tried to hold the line, just slips out, so we got an offside.
2 minutes for slashing. The time of penalties 8:54. Keen and Smaykovsky each 2 minutes for slashing at 8:54.
Apu lining up with Lindmark. Delta gains possession of that one. Wozni looks for the pass ahead. Can't do anything with it. Tyler Price has to chase things back into his own zone. Sends it over to Wozni. Baines with a nice little play up to Hopu, but he can't gain control of that, fighting off a bigger Vlasic. Wozni along the blue line. Sends it to Price. Price works the puck in. Passes back to get it. Delta still with possession in the offensive zone. Baines along the line. Lindmark, though, gets it, can't chip it out. Still possession. Delta working their way in front. It's Baines once again. He gives it away, though. Lindmark trying to break Toporowski. He can't quite hold on to it, so that'll go for icing.
One of the biggest differences in Bantam from when I played, obviously a few years ago now, is the size of the kids. Like Chicago would have 5, 6 players over 6 feet tall at 14 years old. Like it's unbelievable. Delta would have 3 or 4.
What are they feeding these kids?
195 pounds, 200-pound 14-year-olds.
We're just going to send things downstairs to Vanessa now.
I'm here with David Babich, who actually says I can call him Dave, so I feel pretty honored. Dave, Pat Quinn was your coach, you said, for 6 or 7 years, the 90s. Tell us your experience with him. How do you really improve your level of fitness and how you played hockey?
Well, he was just he was a player's coach. So, you know, he was one of these guys that just knew what he wanted from you and he expected it from you. And you respected him enough to do what you could to make sure you were at his level or what he expected. So just he was a terrific person, on and off the ice for sure.
Do you have a certain memory yourself where he really pushed you and he really just improved your level of game?
Well, he tried to push you all the time, but his best line to me, and this was in front of the rest of the team, and I played defense, he said forwards were stupid defensemen. Because he was a defenseman also, and forwards take that to heart, but you know what? He was probably right anyway. Yeah.
Nice and keep it simple.
That's right.
And so, as you mentioned, your kids actually played at this tournament about 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
How much better has it gotten throughout the years?
Well, it was a good tournament back then. It was, a real great Christmas tournament because you could participate in it and not go anywhere. But, with adding Pat Quinn's name to it and, Cliff Ronning being involved, the town of Burnaby or city of Burnaby, it's gotten huge and it's terrific hockey.
For sure. All right, well, thanks for joining me, Dave.
Oh, pleasure. Thanks.
Now, I don't know if I should make comment to this. You've said so many nice things about Pat Quinn. Forwards are stupid defensemen. Gary, comments.
Well, look, Babich as a defenseman probably got 3 times as many points in the NHL as I got as a forward. So, and he's bigger than me. Like his arms are like my legs, so I'm not going to even go near that.
No, I saw him play a buddy in an alumni game, and he absolutely laid my friend out. So I would not mess with Dave.
Well, one of my first training camps as a youngster, I was a pretty big guy, lifting a lot of weights.
Davies with a nice attempt there.
And
into the glove, but
Babich
high
never lifted weights. He was so big and so strong. You go to run him, big farm boy, right, from Edmonton, just run you over from Vegreville.
Refrigerator, but muscle.
Oh my God, great, unbelievable soft hands. Best saucer pass I've ever played with. Right on the tape every time.
It's great to see all these former Canucks and disciples of Pat Quinn, maybe we could say.
The alumni are very tight. We have one of the best alumni associations in the whole league, and we have Cliffy's big time, Jyrki Lume, who probably will be walking around here somewhere. He's a big part of it. Babbage is. We have a lot of guys coming back, and that comes from the Canuck management. Trevor Linden, from Brian Burke, to anybody who's been here has made it a priority, and Pat Quinn was a big part of the alumni.
Chance here in front for Johnson, tried to feed Toporowski. Couldn't quite get a hold of that one. Sends it back to the line. Vlasic with the big point shot. Ooh, kick save there. Basran having trouble getting up. I think he's okay, but he struggled with that recovery.
They're trying to feed Toporowski for the hat trick.
Yes. He had a couple the other night trying to beat him as well. Lido sends it behind the net. Lindmark looking for Toporowski. Sends it in front. Nobody there. Lido back behind the net. Good pressure here by Chicago. Delta finally regains control, though, and they get it up and out. Trying to escape there was Cozens. Still fighting for it. Gets it. Oh, just wide glove side. Behind the net, Vlasic couldn't find it. Baines does, gets a quick shot. It's blocked in front. Back to the point. Big shot from Wozni. Blocked by Johnson. He's chasing after that, trying to get the control of the puck. Vlasic being careful here, could be too many men.
Chicago blocks a lot of shots. Gino Cavallini blocked a lot of shots, so I guess there's no surprise. The Chicago coach.
Barfoot trying to work his way into the slot, can't. Wozni tried to hold line, he can't. Delta regroups again, they've still got possession. Barfoot gets it knocked away from him. Chicago at this point just happy to swat things away. Keep Delta at bay. Cousins in. Beats Jalen Price, he gets knocked down. Looks like a penalty coming up on the play. Away to the bench.
Nice pass by Cousins, right on the tape. Good pickup by Price. Used his speed and drew a penalty. And
we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. That one sends it back to the line. Vlasic with the big point shot. Ooh, kick save there. Okay. We have 7:11 remaining in the second period here of the Bantam Elite Final of the Pat Quinn Classic at the Burnaby-based Bill Copeland Sports Arena. 2-minute power play on the board right now. Chicago's got a man in the box. So we'll see Delta trying to pressure. They're down 5-1. They showed some hop in the first 5 minutes or so of the second period, but have really been held at bay by a talented team that's visiting from Chicago. It does have the home ice advantage as far as changes tonight, though, because they went undefeated.
And Delta scored on their last power play. They were 0 for 2. Now they're 1 for 3, so we'll see if they can score in their fourth. They definitely need a goal on this power play just to get some more momentum back.
For sure. Kent now throws it around the boards. Trying to get a nice setup here. Hapu has it on the half board. Sends it back to Tyler Price. Doesn't have a lane. Sends it back to Hapu. Hapu to the line. Tyler Price. Hapu's shot to the middle, or pass to the middle, is deflected wide, and Chicago's able to clear that out. Basran way out of his net. Got to be careful. Lindmark is chasing. Gave him a bit of a bump as he got there. Toporowski, great penalty killer, has a short-handed marker on the game. Can't quite hold it in. Here comes Delta. Streaking down the middle. Held up by the defenseman. Rebound shot goes high and wide. Working their way out, though. Delta still has it. Kent from the line. Throws one in. It's blocked again by Lindmark. Rebound. Blocked again. Lindmark's clearing the zone. Yes, Chicago. Block after block after block. Delta has 52 seconds left on this power play. 6 minutes to go in the second. Really looking for something, some life to go into the third period with. Here they go. Great chance in front, and it's Baines burying it. Stick side. They got their second of the night. Second power play of the night as well.
2 power play goals in a row after having 2 bad power plays to start the game and giving up a shorthanded goal. They've now scored 2 in a row, and that's why 14-year-old Bantam hockey, you're never out of it. If you're going to be undisciplined, if you're Chicago, this lead is not good enough at 5-2.
Yeah, definitely Delta taking advantage of these opportunities after Chicago looked so good on their first couple of penalty kills. 3-goal deficit really isn't insurmountable at this point in the game.
Number 21, Nicholas Kent.
Delta again coming out of their own zone. Barfoot with a big hit at center ice. Jalen Price gets it up to Barfoot, tries to beat Cousins, it's stopped. Back comes Keane the other way. Keane with Davies streaking towards the net, stopped up, and Cousins takes it back for Delta. Mulak's happy to shoot that one in. We got some hits thrown at center ice. Mulak is on the ice, slow to get up.
Not sure the call.
Got a quick replay here on the goal on screen.
Baines, one of the best players for Delta in this game, takes advantage of a great pass by From Delorme into an open net for Baines. Nice finish. Best player I've seen for Delta so far tonight has been Baines, and it's nice to see him finally get rewarded.
Definitely taking some of the mantle, the responsibility on his shoulders for this team, using his size, and yeah, that was a wide open net, but he went to the right place, and that makes all the difference.
Looks like we got coincidental minors again. There was a good clean hit on the far side. We had a retaliation, so they're taking them both off. So it looks like we're going to have 5-on-5 hockey.
Yeah, we got Mulak coming off for Chicago, and Buddy Johnson coming off for Delta.
Gino Cavallini's sure been vocal about trying to get penalties and penalty calls, and you know, some coaches yell a lot, some don't. I'm surprised he still has a voice. This is like game 6 or 7 in 3 days, but anyways, he was vocal on that, and he did draw the additional call. Let's put it that way.
Number 4,
Baines, the goal scorer, tried to get it out of his own end, can't. Sent back. Wallasey now behind his own net.
Now you know why Len Venue had a lot of lounges, like halls and stuff. Every time you talk to him, you never had a voice.
Yeah, lozenges, ice.
Lozenges,
the coach
yes.
needs something.
Yes, ice, water.
Back at the line, Keane tries to get a shot off. He gets to the slot. Davies with a nice little turnaround there. Sent to the side. Bassran covering the net low. Baines tries to chip that one up. Black stops it at the line, sends it back in. Johnson now battling with Baines on the side. Big scrum there. Davies comes out with it, feeds it to the other point. Davies gets it back at center. Can't do anything with it. Here comes Delta. Oh, nice little play by Cousins. Trying to work his way past Keane, and he can't. No call on the play. Great defensive play by Keane. It comes right back down the other way to Toporowski. Gets a nice shot on net. Davies tried to follow that one up. Couldn't quite get to the rebound. And Bassran covers up that shot.
Could have been a call on that. Delta with some good speed. I guess it's a good defensive play, like you said, if it's not a penalty. but Keane did maintain his balance. So.
I may have sounded a little shocked.
Yes.
I was expecting a call as well, but you know, if you get those, you get those. And Keane with great speed, as he's shown all tournament long. Weiss has it now back at the offensive blue line. Sends it towards the net. Burwell couldn't get to that to get the deflection. Barfoot picks it up. He's looking for someone ahead. Stopped up by Vlasic at center ice. Ooh, Barfoot gets taken down by Schroeder. Maybe a high hit being called on that one. Interference.
Could be 4 minutes. Head contact. Should be. It was interference, it was head contact, it was all of them. Barfoot's the biggest hitter for Delta. He had the biggest hits there his last shift. So I'm sure, you know, guys are trying to slow him down, and that was a penalty. But once again, Delta is on their power play. 2 for 2, their last 2 power plays. And this is how these games change.
So Schroeder's in the box. It's just 2. It is Schroeder, not Schrader. I know Vancouver fans may be mixed up because Jordan Schrader was in town, but I checked on this one.
About the same size, too. Both U.S. players.
you know, maybe there's some relation there.
You never know.
So we'll see if the power play success can continue here. The last two were successes for Delta, or if we'll go back to seeing that successful penalty kill from Chicago that we saw in the first period.
Delta has scored their last two power plays by setting up the Daniel Sedin slap pass. Edler did one of the Twins. They've been using Craik in the middle, kind of like a Daniel Sedin type play, running their D, going to the slap pass, and they had two great opportunities on it. We'll see if they go to it again here on this power play. Here comes Craik on the ice now.
Got to get your guys out.
Well, Yogi's not happy it wasn't 4 minutes. In Bantam hockey, it was a dangerous intent to hurt somebody, and it should be minimum 4-minute power play for them.
Here comes Craik, trying to get possession, can't. Chicago sends it right back in, stopped up by Baines. Hit attempt by Lindmark, held them up just enough, so it was an offside call. Toporowski getting some chatter from Cozens.
Two big boys there. 170-pounders gonna go at it.
Well, Toporowski doesn't seem to be intimidated. He's still going for that hat trick goal. He's got 2 tonight.
His dad had a lot of penalty minutes in the minor leagues. A lot. Big defenseman.
I've been told we need to Google Toporowski melee. And there's some amazing fight footage some of the parents were telling me about earlier in the game. In the other game. Lindmark coming in on the side. Tries to get one on net. Puck comes around to Toporowski. Weiss has it. Weiss has it at the line. Sends it over to Vlasic. Back to Weiss. He's got a lane. Takes the shot. Blocker save by Bassaran. Still puck loose in the crease. Just outside the crease. Bouncing around, and Delta takes possession. Who's on the power play here?
Great PK again. Good pressure.
Super good pressure by the offensive players on the Chicago mission. Up the ice. Quick little shot. Weiss will keep Delta pinned in their own end. There's 48 seconds left on the penalty kill for them. 2:35 remaining in the second period. 5-2 Chicago still at this point. If Delta can get one more before the end of the second period, this is a hockey game for sure. 5-2. I won't say it's over, but that's definitely a tougher one than a 2-goal lead.
For sure, for sure. Well, you knew Chicago would have some, their last 2 penalty kills weren't good, so they're made a few adjustments for sure.
Barfoot coming out of his own end. Loses control. Tyler Price tried to help him out. Craik is the guy that gets it, though. He works his way past one defender. Can't get past the second. Still holding it, though. Tyler Price at the line. Winds up with a shot. Trickles its way in and wide.
Barfoot's a hitting machine the last 3 shifts. He's drawn penalties. He's hit people. There's the response Yogi's looking for. Look for him to play a lot the rest of this game.
Cozens coming up across center ice. Delta makes the zone. He's cutting in from the side, makes it past Lido. Can't get quite to the net, circles round. Works the point, Tyler Price. Penalty is over. We're back to 5-on-5. Schroeder joins the play. Battle in the corner. Johnson's the guy that chips it up ahead. Too far for Kufis. Followed up by Schroeder. Kufis gets it, tried to feed Schroeder back. He can't, but chasing it down is Schroeder. Gets it deep in the Delta zone, allowing Chicago to make the change. Schroeder's still on it. Scrum in the corner. Schroeder's the guy that comes out with it. Working his way out to the front of the net, turns it around. Little weak shot on the stick side. Cozens now almost missed that one. Does. Vlasic's able to keep the line. Gill tries to get it out. Buddy Johnson unable to get it past Black. Gill has to chase things down, retrieve it from the corner. Johnson takes a hit from Kufis. Jalen Price over in the far side corner, trying to get it out of the zone. Tyler Price loses control. Vlasic tried to feed it out front, but nobody was there. He knocks down Johnson with a high stick, and he'll be headed to the box. That's Vlasic. Head shot, possibly cross-check.
A little undisciplined there. And the rules in BC hockey, any headshot penalty is 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Anytime you touch the head, it's 4 minutes. We'll see if this one is right here.
So that was Buddy Johnson. He doesn't have a name bar on there. He's up from Bar City. He's a native of White Rock. Not the smallest guy out there, but not the biggest, so it's probably a little easier to get the headshot in on some of these guys. We talked about the height differential, and that does come into play sometimes when hits are thrown.
It is 2 minutes, which to me is surprising. For referees can really control these games and teach the players with the calls they make. So I'm surprised. Anytime you swing your stick around, you come at somebody high, it should be 4 minutes.
Another power play for Delta. 30 seconds to go in the second period. They're still down 5-2 to Chicago. If they fail to score in these next few seconds, they'll get to start the third with the power play. Baines coming in. Sends it to the middle. They get it back to the point. Kent can't find anything he likes. Sends it to the side. Baines working his way around. Back to Kent. Fumbles the puck. Tries to regain control. Battling there was Lindmark, I believe, along the boards. Gets it out. And that's the end of the second period. All right, so we're at the Pac-Quinn Classic. It's the Bantam Elite Final between Delta and Chicago. Chicago with the 5-2 edge right now. A power play for Delta to start the third period, but we're going to go to break, and we'll be back just after this.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Prince George Cougars hit the highway south for a huge battle with the arch rival Kamloops Blazers. Tune in Wednesday, January 6th, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain for great junior hockey action.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor here at Levitt Machinery, inviting you to watch Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw.
The Pat Quinn Classic Championship game in Burnaby, BC is live on Shaw TV.
Welcome back to the Pat Quinn Classic. 5-2 at this point for Chicago over Delta, but definitely a lot more life from Delta in that period.
Well, yeah, Delta won the period, right? They won the period 2-1. They got 2 power play goals, and Chicago's losing their patience, taking a few penalties. So Delta is pretty happy with that period.
They got a bit of a lead to work with. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But we're going to send downstairs right now. Vanessa Ibarra is with Daryl Ma.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. I'm here, with Daryl Ma, president of the Burnaby Minor Hockey Association. First of all, Daryl, people may not know, this has been going on for 52 years. It's a nice little tournament during Christmas. But what was the reason to first start this 52 years ago?
Well, it was put together to attract top Bantam AAA teams in the province of BC, and then it expanded to out of the province. And so at Christmas time, it's a great time for tournaments for hockey players, and the Burnaby Bantam AAA tournament was well known in the hockey community.
For sure, it attracts so many teams from the States, Japan, and everything. But let's talk about, I know this year in particular, you're wanting to kind of revamp the tournament. Tell us about that and what led you to Pat Quinn.
Well, the timing of everything, the competition out there, there's other tournaments available, teams opting to go to different tournaments. We looked at it and decided that it was time to rebrand our tournament, and the partnership this year just came together through Burnaby Tourism and the Pat Quinn family and our honorary chair, Cliff Ronning, who had a lot to do with putting this together. So.
And also, though, he was such a great man, why did you feel it's so important to honor Pat Quinn?
Pat Quinn is synonymous with excellence in hockey and giving it your all and dedication. And so it just epitomizes what we would like this tournament to represent, and his vision. Yes.
Former hockey player yourself, I'm sure he also inspired you. So.
Well, he did to the point of our fourth son is actually named Quinn Patrick.
Oh my gosh! There you go. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, sorry.
That works
yeah,
out awesome.
That works. That's great.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Daryl.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, back to you guys.
Well, we're going to get some looks at some of the goals from the last period, but I think we've got a story lined up right now. Notre Dame, club from Saskatchewan, visiting in town. I saw them play their game yesterday. Talented club, great to see them come in, but let's take a look at the Hounds from Notre Dame in Saskatchewan.
One of Canada's leading hockey development programs from Wilcox, Saskatchewan, the Notre Dame Hounds. A program with a proven track record of producing big-time hockey talent.
Before my time, there was plenty of players. Wendell Clark, guys like that were there. My time era was like guys like Rod Brindamore and Curtis Joseph. So.
But the school teaches its students more than just the game of hockey.
We want well-rounded citizens, not just hockey players, and we find that Notre Dame teaches our kids the core values of, of what it means to be, a good person first. You learn how to balance your life with academics, your social time with athletics, your off-ice workouts. So.
The coaches teach the same values on the ice.
I like it because they're not always screaming. They're very smooth talking, but they're very disciplined. And they're not baby. They don't sugarcoat you. They tell you what you need to know. And
players learn what it takes to play at a high level, off the ice, and how they eat, how they prepare, how they sleep, train. So many little things that they know a little bit about, but there they do it on their own. And we're there to steer in the right direction.
And coming into the Pat Quinn Classic, the Hounds have worked very hard for their South Saskatchewan Minor Hockey League Midget AA Tier 1 Division first place ranking with a 22-2-1 record.
We just have a unique blend of kids from all across Canada, and I think their work ethic, number one, stands out to me. They compete in practice, they compete off the ice, they compete in games. They play a lot of heart, and that's what our program is about. So.
On the ice, they are teammates, and off the ice, best friends, motivating and getting the best out of each other.
Oh, they're all really good guys. Like, everyone gets you right from the start. Like, there's no judging, like, where you're from. But, everyone's just a good guy. Like, it's all friendly.
we don't have any shy players. Everyone's outgoing, and everyone can score. They can hit. We're a really physical team, can shoot the puck, and move the puck really well. And it's just a great group of kids. Everyone's really nice, and it's been a great year so far.
I mean, they all have high aspirations. I mean, they all talk about playing in, NHL one day. They see our wall of fame, how many guys have done it, and that's their long-term goal. We try to scale back a little bit and say, you know what, number one reason guys have success is they enjoy the game. So let's make it a fun game to play. Let's teach them the right way to play the game.
Okay, one of our traditions is you guys know the team prayer, so you're gonna join in with us. You gotta repeat after the lead guy though, okay? All right, let's go guys, circle up. Get in there. Repeat after me! Our Holy Father! Our Holy Father! Open your heart! Open your heart! In the rules! In the rules! In the heart! In the heart! On the verse! On the verse! Where? Keep! Keep!
I'm Monagahi at the Pat Quinn Classic in Burnaby for Shaw TV.
So Notre Dame strong showing in this tournament, but knocked out in the quarters, in fact, by Delta. It was a tougher game, so it was good to see Delta stand up. We've talked about some of the size differential with Chicago tonight, but they have shown that they can play some of these teams that like to play a physical game.
Well, I mean, Delta they're about skill and trying to hurt you on the power play, and they were able to do that against Chicago in that second period. They scored 2 power play goals. They won the period really 2-1. They were down 4-0 going into the second, so Yogi Shilzowski's going to use that in the room right now as motivation. Let's win the third period, and you never know where you end up.
I think we're going to head downstairs for a quick second here. Oh, we'll do the replays first. Let's go to the replays of the goals. Sorry. All right, we had 3
Well,
of them
here's
in this
the first power play goal. I was mentioning the slot pass over to Craig, that Sedin-type play from the D to the slot. There it is, a result in a Craig goal. Really nice play. They like to do it a lot. It's really hard to defend. It's not a normally set up. This was a backbreaker goal for sure. Delta makes it 4-1. Here's Toporowski with his second goal of the game. Great pass by Kofis on that. Real nice
slide,
speed.
5-hole beauty.
Just slide in. A lot of players in Bantam go top shelf. He goes through the legs. Smart player for sure with that. Some big saves for sure. Here's the second power play goal by Delta. Archdeep Baines, Sweet Hands is his nickname here in British Columbia. Picks up an open net on a great pass by From Delorme. Open net goal. So, look, Delta did score a couple power play goals. And Chicago is not that disciplined, so you never know what will happen in the third.
So was that the key difference, having the new Sedin, Craig is Craig, the new Daniel Sedin? Is that just, I guess, making good on those opportunities when it comes to power plays, the extra man?
Well, you have to at this age. I mean, you work on it a lot. You have your set go-to moves, and you need a couple different power plays you can throw at the penalty killers. It's some of these players are so raw in their development that they haven't seen a lot of little. I guarantee you, Chicago, that would be the first time they have seen that at the Bantam level, is that slap pass try. I can guarantee that. I've never seen it. I've watched a lot of Bantam games.
So I got to watch a few more Canucks games instead of the Blackhawks games, I guess. Maybe the styles are comparing. But we're going to throw things downstairs right now to Vanessa. Special interview in the corner.
Yeah, it's a very special interview. I'm here with someone who knows Pat Quinn better than anyone. His daughter, Callie Quinn. Thank you for joining me, first of all.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I know this came together rather quickly. 9 months ago, you were notified they wanted to commemorate your father and make a Pat Quinn Classic. What was your reaction to that? It must have been a very sensitive time.
Well, at first I was thinking they want to do this after Dad, and then I talked to Cliff about it a little bit more, and they brought my mom in and brought me in to have a meeting and tell us what it was all about and how they wanted to incorporate his name and what they envisioned for the tournament, and it was something that we just thought was a great fit.
And your dad obviously was such a teddy bear, is how you describe him. Such a loving man. What qualities as a father did you see translate to on the ice over the years?
I think he obviously made us accountable as his children. He was very supportive, and it's funny, the other day I was thinking about something, and he always would say, "Good show," and he brought that to his players. He cared about them as individuals, but he wanted them to be successful on the ice as well as off the ice.
Yeah, tell us about that. It sounds like he was just as involved with all of his players, all of the past NHL athletes, just as much off the ice.
Yes, you know what, he had a unique quality that his door was always open. If they wanted to go to him, regardless if it was something about hockey or it was something that was going on with their family, he would do anything that he could to help them.
That's amazing to have as a father, for sure. And even more amazing, also, there's the legacy fund you're talking about that's also been set up recently in memory of your father. Tell us about that.
So the Legacy and Scholarship Fund, we're just in the starting stages of laying the groundwork that down the road we're hoping to be able to provide partial funding scholarships to hockey players that want to pursue a law degree or a professional degree, and we're just getting it off the ground right now, and we're just doing some details and crossing the I's, or crossing the T's and dotting the I's on it, and so we're just working on that right now.
Sounds like a lot to look forward to the next few years, for sure. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me, Kelly.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's throw it back to the guys now. Thank you so much.
We're getting ready now for the third period. 5-2 the score for Chicago. There will be a quick power play to start the game. Again for Delta, and they've had some success. We've talked about how they've turned things around. How big would it be for them to come out here in the third? What kind of game would we have on our hands if they get one here in the next 90 seconds?
Be a lot of nervous tension for Gino Cavallini, the Chicago Mission coach, because I've seen leads at this level evaporate so quickly, and with so much skill on Delta, that can happen quickly. It was funny with Callie, with the interview, they saying Pat's greatest quality is his door is always open. Now, that was all fine and dandy until I felt when I was playing with the Maple Leafs and he was my GM that I didn't need an agent because I knew him very well and I wanted a new contract. So I go in there, knock on Big Pat's door, and I had a pretty good year. I was on the third line, felt pretty good about myself. And he just looked at me like I just crossed the line. He's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "The only reason I had you on the fourth line is because I didn't have a fifth line. Now go get an agent." So sure enough, I got an agent the next day, and he signed me again for 3 years. But,
well, it worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah, but that's typical Pat, though. You had to know your lines. he was a lawyer. He had his law degree. He worked really well with agents. He didn't like players to kind of sidestep what the natural progression was. Gerald Diddick was a guy I played with in Vancouver. He didn't have an agent. His wife was representing him. Just never, ever got along at all with Gerald Diddick because of that. To a certain point, I remember one trading deadline, his wife held a goodbye party for everybody and all the wives because he was gone for sure. Sure enough, he's at practice the next day, and Pat wouldn't trade him. You know, like he was a unique character with Pat. But look, he was a very giving man. He was a great guy, but you had to know your boundaries with him.
Well, very, very professional. We're going to take a quick break before we come back to catch the third period here at the Pat Quinn Classic on Shaw TV.
Levitt Machinery WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Prince George Cougars hit the highway south for a huge battle with the arch rival Kamloops Blazers. Tune in Wednesday, January 6th, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain for great junior hockey action.
Hi, I'm Don Taylor here at Levitt Machinery, inviting you to watch Levitt Machinery's WHL on Shaw.
The Pat Quinn Classic Championship game in Burnaby, BC is live on Shaw TV.
We're back here at the Bill Copeland Arena in Burnaby. It is 5-2 for Chicago over the Delta Wild. We're looking forward to this one. The winner will take all for the Bantam Elite category. A lot on the line. Chicago will be looking to hold on to things here with their successful penalty kill to start the period. Delta really hoping they can pull this out in front of their hometown crowd. Not quite Delta, but just down the road. And they're lining up for this opening face-off.
Really big power play for Delta here. 1:27 seconds left on it. They've scored 2 power play goals in this game already. This is a big power play for Delta to get back into this game.
Sveikovsky gives it across to his defenseman. That's Kent doing a little spin, gets it across to Baines. Baines playing the point, has to spin away from Lindmark. Can't do it, it's held up along the boards, and Chicago gets it out. Delta regrouping in their own end, starting out. Kent, a little bit of a stutter step, getting pressures on Topogrowski. Sveikovsky still working the puck along the boards, back to Baines. Baines back to Sveikovsky. Puck in behind the net. Delta trying to work this perimeter, but not finding too much in the middle of the ice. Kent has to retrieve it back from his own zone. There's only 24 seconds left in this power play. They've had to start the period. Davies steals it away. He's in deep. He'll just try to rag this one out to kill off this last bit of the penalty. Sends it out in front. Picked up by Hopwu. Hopwu feeling the heat, turns back, resets. Davies is chasing. Big footsteps from Big Davies. And the penalty is over. Delta unable to do anything with that one. Still 5-2 for Chicago. Here they come. Chicago down the ice. Schroeder steals the puck. He's trying to work it through. Kent. Puck knocked away from him. Great defensive play.
Great play by Kent in the back check. Nice recovery for Kent. I mean, that was an unreal play. Like at the end of a shift, to have legs to get back and save that from being a 2-on-0 it could be a game-saving type play that you can go back in this game and remember.
And Kent's been playing a ton this game, just in general. It's great to see the ability these kids have to play as much as they do, especially, you know, this isn't a full lineup like you see in the NHL. There's a few players less on the bench.
Yeah, a lot of teams are running 9. Chicago looks like they have 9 forwards. So there's guys that are on the ice. They're all getting 20-plus minutes a game, and they've played 6-7 games in 3 days, so they're tired.
Puck now deep in the Delta zone. Chicago still fighting for possession. Ooh, Keane threw someone into the boards from behind. I couldn't quite see the numbers. He gets up though. No harm.
Surprising no call.
Lido sends one in from the blue line. Didn't get a whole lot on that. Davies has the rebounds. He gets one off the mask. Ooh, big hit in the corner. And we got a little bit of rough stuff, and yeah, I think that's Koufis, pardon me, in the corner. He's struggling, really.
Well, that's what happens when the refs don't stop the penalties. There was a hit from behind.
Yep. Sure
enough, Delta's going to respond. Refs can make the first call, and then you don't see kids that get ran from behind. And this is should be a 5-minute major for boarding to Price, and he's not even getting a penalty on it. So, you know, at times, you know, the refs can really be able to protect the players in Bantam hockey, and they're not doing a good enough job doing that.
Koufis does get up, but he looks woozy.
Price absolutely launched himself. He jumped a foot in the air and hit the kid right in the head. And that's why some kids get out of Bantam hockey, and some kids don't because they get hurt.
When we're talking about players learning how to take hits, how to also throw hits and not maybe have the, I don't know, bloodlust or whatever you get with some of the guys that throw the more dangerous hits. It is that level, though, where you learn to work around the physical side of the game.
Well, the thing is, Koufis is 170 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay, what if that hit was on a guy 110 pounds? And in this game, they're 110, 120 pounder.
Absolutely.
So what if that hit was on a kid like that? Like there'd be a stretcher on the ice. So it's up to the refs to understand there are 2-year age groups in this level, and you can't have kids jumping up, headshotting people.
So it'll be interesting to see after this couple of hits, dangerous ones from behind, if the rough stuff continues, especially as we get further along here. 17:27 left in the third. If Delta feels things are out of the way, hopefully there's no talk of revenge or anything. Another stoppage in play. Talking about some alumni, I mentioned Ty Smith is a guy from Delta. He was the #1 pick in the WHL Bantam draft last year. So this is a program that has had a lot of success in recent years.
Another penalty coming up to Chicago here. The game's getting a little out of control.
Yeah.
And Delta doesn't mind this because this is the only way they'll probably get back into this game. And Schrader, really not a smart slashing penalty there. I mean, that's an easy call.
We talked about him. He was very clutch in the semifinals, but here, yeah, definitely needs to maybe show a little bit more maturity. Watch himself right now. His team's in a good place. You don't want to give that away, and we've seen the success of Delta's Sedin power play. We'll see if they can do some of this again. Work that magic. Swiatkowski sends it across. Out starts Delta. Cozens has it at the offensive blue line. He takes it in, far side. Weiss rolls him off the puck. Sends it down the ice.
Weiss is a beast. 6'2", 6'3", just throwing his weight around, icing the puck. Captain on the blue line for the Chicago team.
Here they come again. Delta trying to make the zone. Having a little trouble at the blue line again. Oh, here they come. Cozens has one in front, sends it, and it's Swiatkowski scoring. There you go, cross crease.
By Cozens. Over to Lucas. He's been a little quiet in this game, Lucas Swiatkowski, the leading goal scorer, point getter for this Delta team, but he comes up with a big goal at a clutch time here in the third.
Swiatkowski, that is his, geez, I'm trying to keep track of the goals now, 4th of the tournament. He's from Point Roberts, Washington, one of the 2 Americans on the Delta club. And hey, 5-3, another successful power play, 16:39 still on the clock. We got ourselves a hockey game, folks. Three power play goals for Delta as they're trying to come back from that 4-0 deficit they were at the end of the first period. Puck goes around. Delta still has it in Chicago territory. Vlasic picks it up. And it's worked out now by Lindmark. He's being hounded, sends it across to Johnson. It's too far ahead for him. He chips it towards the net. Puck bounces out. Delta tries to turn things around. Working their way up, that's Susenbacher Fu. Firing a shot was Cousins. It goes high and wide. Round about the boards, all the way back into the Delta zone.
Over Bassman, the Delta goalie that came in for Boston Bullies, hasn't been tested much until a save like that. Great save. And you know, for him, he's still rather cold. He hasn't had a ton of shots.
Tracked the puck really well right there. Keane sends it up along the boards. It makes its way past LaRue. Streaking out of that is Kufis. He looks like a man possessed after taking that hit. Weiss along the boards, works it back into the Delta zone.
Guess there's no concussion protocol in Bantamon.
Not quite sure. He was gone for a little bit, but he wasn't gone for long. Keane now works it off the boards. Back to Price. Looking for something. Hopu can't control that one. Battle along just outside the Chicago bench. Bassran coming in really did sort of start. Oh, there's a big hit. Davies through high cross check. No call on the play. They're still tangled up behind the Delta net. This play goes down the other end, and now they are still tangled up. Looks like Davies' stick might have been caught in the equipment. He was battling that out with Tyler Price.
Or as Don Taylor would say, the paraphernalia.
Yes, Don Taylor, who was just done promoting the WHL on Shaw.
Good for Donnie.
Donnie's haunting you everywhere you go. He's right over your shoulder.
See him.
The WHL is on Shaw. We've got the Max tournament on Friday starting at 9 a.m. Lots of hockey on Shaw TV, including this, the Pat Quinn Classic you're watching right now.
Dynamite hockey in that tournament. Just, it's kind of the first, you know, a lot of NHL scouts actually start watching tournaments like that. It's kind of the right age group where suddenly NHL scouts at a tournament like this at in Burnaby, it's a lot of junior scouts, WHL scouts. It's really the first taste a lot of these players will have other eyes other than their parents looking on them, and how are they going to react to it. We saw Delta early in the game a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
They didn't handle it really well, but they've taken over the second half of this game and are really have a good opportunity here to come back in this game.
Credit the coaching staff with helping them to not lose everything, as they felt the pressure with that 4-0 lead early, the 4-0 deficit early. Cousins now feeds it to the far side, shot from the point. Stop there, but ooh, crashing the net there. Bernard goes down. He may have just been trying to make sure.
Schrader.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Schrader was pushing the man. Bernard wanted to make sure the ref saw it just in case. But I mentioned earlier, Ty Smith, #1 pick in the WHL Bantam draft to Spokane. First defenseman taken first overall since Derek Pouliot, who's had some success now with Pittsburgh Penguins. So great program in Delta. They've been developing some fantastic hockey players. Weiss back at his own blue line, tips it ahead. Here comes Lindmark. Can't quite get it in the zone, but he does regain possession. Sends it across for Johnny Johnson. Delta has control now, and they're just trying to make the zone. Chicago seems happy to clog up the neutral zone. Weiss onto that loose puck. Taken away by Barfoot. Barfoot streaking in. Nice shot, and nicer save by Bernard, and Weiss is down on his belly.
Weiss got high sticked by Barfoot. He was going to lift his stick, got him right in his throat area, or the cage area, and it looked like it stung him a little bit.
The officials are talking, but might have another non-call, and things could get out of hand. We have 13:29 to go in regulation. A 5-3 lead for Chicago right now.
Officials get tired in these tournaments too. A lot of these guys have been doing a ton of games, and you got to cut them some slack. It looks like the officials did the right thing here. They came back, they got together, and they're making the right call. It should be a penalty on Barfoot.
Yeah, it's good to see that, especially if you've only got the one referee. You want to make sure you're getting the right call. They're just making sure this is communicated to the coaches now. Alumni for the Chicago Mission. I'm pulling out some of my stats here as we're late in the game. William Nylander.
Really?
Yeah, number 8 overall in 2014 to Toronto. He's doing well with the Marlies. We're going to take a quick break right now, though. We'll come right back after this at the Pat Quinn Classic. Classic. Back here in Burnaby at the Pat Quinn Classic. Chicago is up 5-3 on the local Delta Wild. 13:29 on the clock. A 2-minute power play forthcoming for Chicago. Time to kill a penalty for Delta. I mean, this is really make or break. If Chicago can deliver on this, what's the result now for Delta?
I think this is Chicago's first power play in this game. I don't remember them having one earlier in the game. So for them, it's going to be, we're going to get their first sniff at it. Like Delta's had 5 or 6 now, so Chicago's on their first. That's why Gino Cavallini, their coach, has been yelling and screaming pretty much of this whole game. He'll be thirsty after this one. So for him, finally they get a call, and it was a real smart play by the refs getting together. It was a high stick on Barfoot. Delta needs a kill. They are a very aggressive penalty killing team as well. So Chicago can break them down.
Keane working his way, didn't like what he saw. Back into his own zone with Lito. Lito fumbles the puck a little bit there with Cousins pressuring hard. Out come the Mission. Schroeder over the line, sends it deep. Davies chases, gets it in the corner, sends it back to the point. Keane has to quickly shoot it in, and Delta's able to clear it there. He was forced to make a quick play. Bernard chopping it up, trying to get something quickly. Davies was onto it, but was offside.
Who are some of these Chicago Mission? You said Nylander?
Nylander, I mean, and he's playing for Sweden, you were telling me in the break, at the World Juniors. I haven't watched as much as I'd like to, but very talented guy.
I played with his dad in Chicago. Unreal talent, like just crazy. Used a straight stick and just unreal hands. A little toe curve. Was, you know, his kids, both of his kids are dynamite prospects. One of them's eligible for the draft this year, I believe. The one's with Toronto. The one's eligible this year. I think he's ranked in the top 5.
It's interesting how the hockey genes seem to pass along. Have you got, or are we gonna have some more Volks?
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Only if I don't coach him.
There was a shot attempt, or a miss anyway. Vlasic has it at the line. Setting up, looking for a lane, can't find it. Sends it over to the boards. Lindmark has it. Into the slot. Johnson deflects it high and wide. Toporowski sends it back to the point. Black has it. Into Toporowski. Fake the shot, send it into Johnson. Back to Toporowski. Back to Black at the point. They're not taking any risks here. Vlasic has it now. Sends it across Toporowski. If he could have wrangled that one, would have had a great attempt. Vlasic again at the line. 30 seconds to go on this power play. They've been passing around for a while. That shot whistled wide. Vlasic back at the point. Sends it in deep, trying to get a deflection. Nothing doing. Battle behind the net. Toporowski really giving it his all, hoping for that 3rd goal at some point this period, I imagine. Vlasic has it over to Black. He sends a weak one in, and it's gobbled up by Bassran.
Most teams have different ways they want to run power plays, but both these teams are doing it the same way, where they're D. I haven't seen one slap shot yet from one defenseman this whole game. Like, they're just getting pucks through, looking for rebounds.
Rebounds and deflections, definitely. It seems like they're looking more for misdirect or direction in front. And that penalty's over. Barfoot comes out of the box, rejoins the play. Davies couldn't handle that one. Lapina gets it back to Davies, though. He sends it to the point where Keene is intercepted. He has to chase it back into the neutral zone. Delta now regrouping, having killed that power or that penalty. Baines has it at his own blue line. Looks ahead to Svikovsky. Svikovsky sends one in. Ooh, high riser. Went over the net, though. Out of their own end, the Chicago Mission. Keene has one, lines up for a shot. High stick side, goes wide. May have been tipped by the goalie. Delta looking for something now. A couple guys cheating high. Jalen Price, one of them, chases deep, but that's an icing call.
You can hear Gino Cavallini from here yelling at his bench, discipline, 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 don't retaliate. They don't want Delta, obviously, up 2 goals to have another power play.
10:43, a 2-goal lead is not insurmountable, so yeah, definitely. Got to play it safe. Schroeder's out there now to take the draw. Cozen's against him. Little delay before they drop the puck. Lido gets it back on the point. Tries to send it down the middle. Burnell gets it. Works his way across. The puck back to Black. Over to Lido. Sends it at the net. Gloved down by Basran.
But it's a lesson, too, like for a lot of kids that are watching games. Like, this is the elite of Bantam hockey. This is the best team in BC is Delta. They would be the #1 ranked team in my books. And then you have a top 3 team in the U.S. in Chicago Mission, and their defense are just getting shots through. They're just wristing it. So players out there, work on that little snapshot, work on using your feet to get pucks through, and you'll go a long ways.
Schroeder is in the corner with Mulak. Schroeder chasing it in on the near side, tips it back to Burwell. Still having possession in the zone. Chicago, Schroeder tries to throw it at the net. It's blocked. Still has it. Finally, Delta gets it away. Cousins is the guy. Throws it over to Susenhauser Fu. And it's in deep, streaking. Nice defensive play there by Lido. Not even a chance off of that partial break. Tyler Price has it back at his own blue line as Delta looks for another run. Cousins, nice play around Black. He's got a man in front. Oh, and he can't finish that play. That was Craik. Back to the line. Price gets one on net. Pad save.
That was an open net for Craik, which he doesn't miss often.
No.
Great pass by Cousins.
From Delorme back to Craik. Craik held up a bit. Gill gets it back in, but Chicago gets possession here. Mulak now, one-on-one. Doesn't have a whole lot. Can't even get the shot through. LaRue is the one with the block. Craik lost that one in the official skates. Chicago again. Nothing doing there in the slot, though, as Lindmark is looking for it. And Lindmark gets it back in his own end, but fans on the pass attempt. Things are getting a little sloppy as these guys are probably getting pretty tired. Second game for each team of the day.
Well, Chicago's got 9 forwards. Delta would have most likely 11, if not 12. So they do have the advantage in the third period for a game like this. With 2 games in 1 day, short turnaround.
8:45 on the clock. We got Hopwu at center for Delta. Small guy, but wins the draw back with a little help from his winger. Too much help, maybe. It goes back all the way into the deep into the back of Delta zone. They have to restart. Give it away. Toporowski into the slot. Lindmark shot. Bit of a bouncer. Gets blocked in front. Out comes Delta. Weiss trying to slow them up. Jalen Prince can't get it past him. And Hopwu chasing it down in the corner. Lido gets there first, though. Sends it up for Weiss. Toporowski looking for that third goal still, trying to work his way around the defenseman by himself. Kent did good to stand him up. In front there, little attempt goes wide. That was Johnson. Johnson fighting for it. Side of the net, using his size. One-arming it. Back to Weiss. Weiss at the point, is able to work his way around the forward. And the shot goes high and wide into the netting. We're going to take a quick break here from the Pat Quinn Classic in Burnaby on Shaw TV. Back at the Bill Copeland Sports Center in Burnaby, British Columbia for the Pat Quinn Classic. It's a great tournament they've had here for a number of years in Burnaby for Bantam and Pee Wee players. This is the Bantam Elite Final between Chicago and Delta. We talk about some of the guys that have gone through this in the past 52 years, I believe the tournament's been in town. Before it was named after Pat Quinn this past year, rebranded. Cliff Ronning, we've seen earlier, interviewed. Glenn Anderson played in this tournament. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, a more recent first overall draft pick, local guy. And Burnaby Joe Sakic, of course, played here, and they've named a little road outside after him. Joe Sakic Way, I believe, we're on.
Just a little road right out front of this wonderful complex. This is a terrific junior facility. Perfect amount of seats, good viewing, good setup, good concessions. Really nice to see them try to get another junior team back here in Burnaby.
Good concessions. Did you get yourself a dog yesterday?
No, I didn't. No, I could try to stay late after Christmas.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Christmas is that time of year. The face-off in the Delta zone. Chicago picks up possession there. Koufos behind the net. Puck flips out in front. Delta lucky to clear that one out. Lido sends it back in though, and Chicago tags up. We'll try again with their high-pressure defensive plays. Strategy. Delta though, streaking out. Here comes Price, working his way down from his own end, sends it in front. Nobody's there to take the pass though. And Chicago regains possession as Weiss has it. He's looking across for Koufos. Koufos just too far ahead of him for that one. He sends it on net, but it goes behind. Barfoot trying to take that pass, picked off by Lido. Davies tried to grab that one, but he was offside. He was a little tentative. Schroeder now sends it in. Chased down by Mulak. Burnell and Mulak trying to double team in the corner. Delta gets possession though. Puck goes out in the slot, picked off by Schroeder, and he sends it in deep. They just look like, yeah, they're happy to play this one safe. As soon as they get it, send it in deep. Force Delta to restart every single time. Scrum along the boards. Mulak comes out with it. He's a defender and a forward, depending on the game. He fires one wide glove side. Chicago still with it, though. Burnell takes a shot from a ways back, and it's swallowed up by Bassram.
Need that whistle. Delta, it's like they're resting up for their big push at the end of the game here. They had a little lull here for about 5-6 minutes. They need a sense of urgency now. They have to be way more aggressive than what they are. They got to pinch. They got to take a few chances because you need 2 goals to tie this game.
Barfoot now trying to work his way around Vlasic. No doing. Vlasic sends it back in deep behind the net. Goalie's getting a little more risky coming out of his net, trying to make that first pass. Barfoot at center ice. Circles around, can't get by Chicago at the line. He does eventually though. Jalen Price puts one on net. Not too much vinegar on that. Kent has it at the line. He sends one high, hits the shoulder of Bernard. Delta still has it though in the Chicago zone. Here's that press. Sveikovsky didn't get to the net, blocked in front. Back comes Chicago. Johnson sends it, trying to find Toporowski. Johnson taking it to the far corner, sends it in front for Lindmark. Puck is still loose. Toporowski in the slot, sends it high and wide. Lindmark in the corner, sends it back to the point. Keene not quite enough there to get it to Keene. Delta trying to come back the other way. Cousins gets tied up with Baines. They could have had a 2-on-1 if they pushed it there, but bouncing puck. And a glove save by Bernard.
Getting some shots. Delta defense are more aggressive now. This is a big face-off. These face-offs in the offensive zone, you want to get your set plays all set up. You want to know what you're looking for, whether it's a one-timer. You got to take advantage of all of these. You're under 5 minutes of play here in the finals. There's nothing to save it for.
Out of their own zone, Davies sends it up to Kufis. He sends it in deep. Smart not to ice this one. Chicago still playing it pretty strong as far as the offensive forecheck. Delta coming back the other way, though. Price trying to feed something in front. Bernard doesn't take any chances. He covers up. So we've got 4:34 left. We're going to throw things downstairs for a second. Vanessa has another special guest. Vanessa.
We're going to air here.
What's up down there, Vanessa?
Yes, thank you so much, Paul. I'm here with two men from the Burnaby Fire Department, Jeff and Rob. And Rob, you're mentioning honorary guard. People may not know exactly what your duties are or seen this before, but you go to special ceremonies throughout town. Explain to us what honorary guard is, first of all.
Well, the Honor Guard was formed, or is formed, in fire departments to honor the fallen firefighters who've died in the line of duty, and to attend functions around the community to show off our extra activities that we partake in.
And how amazing, it's all volunteer, as you mentioned. I'm going to ask you also, Jeff, why was it so important then to take part in this year's tournament?
Well, the fact that it's named after Pat Quinn, but this tournament has been around for 53 years. We're honored to be involved in it, and anything we can do as Burnaby Firefighters Charitable to help out the kids. I mean, what a great event. We got teams from Japan, all over the U.S. I mean, it's a great, successful tournament. Ed Jaskula from the Hilton asked us to get involved, and he's a big supporter of the firefighters, so we came on board.
Yeah, you guys did so much for the community, as did Pat Quinn. So I'll ask you, he obviously inspired so many people, not just, hockey players, but just members of the community, firemen, policemen. How did he inspire you, or what's your lasting legacy of him?
Well, Pat Quinn's given so much back to everyone in the community that he's done, and we've watched him. I've watched him since 1970 when he played for the Canucks, and to see him at different events that we've been at, he always had time for everybody, and was a great man, so we're honored to be involved with him.
Well, I grew up watching the Canucks just like Jeff did, and Pat has always been a very impressive, very giving figure, not just in hockey, but in the community at large. And he's just such a presence in the life of hockey and just this town and wherever he goes. And he's just an impressive person to know.
Great example of selflessness, I think, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
That should be it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
5-3 Chicago over Delta with 4:14 left in the third period here in the final game of the Bantam Elite matchup at the Pat Quinn Classic. It's been a great evening, and we could be in for a roller coaster finish here if Delta has anything to say about it. Black for Chicago is able to dump that one out of the zone. Looks like we may have another icing call. Another face-off deep in the zone. What are we looking for? I mean, will we be seeing the goalie? How soon will he be going in Bantam with 4 minutes to go? Is he going to be looking at the bench with 2 goals? Or, I mean, that's a risky play, especially against Chicago.
Not yet, but I would say, truthfully, what Delta is going to be trying to do here over the next couple minutes. First of all, they got to start winning these in-zone draws. They're not winning it. Chicago's content just icing it. They're going to try to draw a penalty. They want to get on the power play, then pull the goalie, then you get the 2-man advantage. Delta's got on the power play 5-6 times in this game, so they managed to do it. They're going to try to get something where they draw. There's 3 icings in a row because Chicago's fine with that. They're not going to turn it over. Delta's backing up. They got to be more aggressive and start winning some face-offs here.
Now, Chicago's playing it just straight down the ice every time. Is this risky, though, if you do this enough times? Give them the chance to Delta with the setup, but I guess if you're winning the face-offs, you're winning the face-offs. One again by Lindmark. Chicago takes that one up around the boards, but Kent stops it at the line. He sends one in. Nobody's able to make contact with that. It's behind the net now. They're trying to work it back to the line. Wozni over to Kent. Kent takes a shot. Deflected just wide, though. Lindmark sends it around the boards. Not out, though. Wozni holds it in again. Barfoot behind the net. Gets a bump. Fighting off a couple of Mission players. Back to the line. Chicago gets it here. Weiss. Not out. Having a little trouble after all those icings. Toporowski here has some room. Drops it off for Johnny Johnson. He tried to feed it back. No going with that. They were just trying to keep possession in the zone, but they gave it away. And Delta now feeling some pressure still, though. Johnson playing hard, throws a hit. They get out of the zone, though. Cozen's here, up, down the middle. Stopped at line by Keene. Calling it offside. 2:57 now. I keep going to the clock, but with a 2-goal lead, Delta's gonna pull out all the stops here. They want to win. It's the hometown crowd. They were playing Raise a Little Hell. I think that may have been for the benefit of the Delta players. The Burnaby team may be cheering on. Vlasic gets it, though, at center. Over the line, slows in, cuts towards the net, sends it out the slot. Kufas couldn't take it. Way back to center ice. Keene regroups. Sends it in over the head of Vlasic. Tag up by Chicago, and they're right back in. Davies applying pressure. Delta fumbling the puck again there. Davies is on to him. You can't make a mistake against these guys. Kufas in to help. Looks like we may have a penalty. Or frozen play.
Or glove pass.
Well, there you go. My eyes aren't what they used to be.
No, but I mean, Delta needs more urgency than this. I mean, they have to send their defense, send everybody in, get pucks deep, get pucks to the net. The ice is not real good at the end of these periods to be fancy and to be able to. Now it gets down to just nitty gritty, draw plays and win some face-offs.
So you're coaching Delta right now. What do you do? What are you telling the guys here at this break?
I'm telling my D, I don't care if you pinch and get scored on right now. We need 2 goals. Hold the lines. Don't back up. If you get a shot down the middle, you shoot it. I saw the last shift. The Delta defenseman from the middle passes it to the defenseman on the boards. You shoot from the boards. You want shots from the middle with traffic. So I would tell them right now, there's nothing to save it for. Throw everything at the net. And D, it's okay to pinch.
Well, we'll see if they can pull that off. It's 2:25 left in the third. 5 for Chicago, 3 for Delta. The Wild really want to pull this one out, take it to overtime, potentially a shootout. We saw earlier Chicago had to go to extra innings to finish their game with a late clinching goal from Schroeder.
2 minutes left in that game. It was a nice pass from Toporowski to Schroeder. He went top shelf, but you know, they're pretty lucky to even get into this final. Lethbridge has a dynamite team. Our North Shore Winter Club boys have to play them first round in St. Albert in a couple weeks, so I'll see if my scouting reports work.
Yeah, it's good that you were here. Give them the scouting report.
Yes.
Tell them to go to the final round of the shootout, and that's how you take them down. Delta now moving ahead. Losing it, though. Lido trying to get it out of his own end. Backed up by Mulak. He gets it up to Burnell. Burnell just slides it in carefully. Kent loops around behind his own net. Having trouble with that puck. That ice may be a factor at this point in the game. Jalen Price tries to get it deep. He does. Chased down. Goalie's headed to the bench. And Delta is making a change. They still have possession. Nicely done. That was Hopwoo. Now here's the setup. Wozni doesn't take the shot. Down low. Cross crease. No one's there. Tyler Price gets it back to Wozni. Looking for another shot. Sends it over to the half boards on the side. Oh, puck deflected. Back into the close side here. Working around behind the net. Spakovsky. Baines. Chicago gets that one. Make no mistake, send it right down the ice, but we'll have an icing call from that.
You can go for the open net with a 2-goal lead for sure. Obviously, you'll take the icing. There's no problem with that. Delta's got to score 2 to tie it.
1:04 left on the clock. How are these Chicago players feeling? I mean, you think you got it at this point, but do the nerves set in, I guess, at this point in the game?
No, I mean, every player that plays, even in bantam hockey, wants to be on the ice right now. They're not happy sitting on the bench. Doesn't matter if you're in the NHL, in bantam, in Pee Wee, you want to be on the ice. You have good coaches. You know, if you're on defense, you got to get in shooting lanes.
Face-off won by Delta. Kent just sends it around the boards. Barfoot tries to get it behind the net. Blassie gets it away from him. Can't get it out. Cozens has it on the half boards. It's in the corner. Baines works it behind the net. Svikovsky try to get it in front. Blocked there by Keane. Again tries to feed it. Blocked again, that time by Lindmark. Scramble in front, looking for those dirty goals. The net is off its moorings as Toporowski was trying to streak away and get that third goal he's been after since scoring 2 early in this one. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. One of those short-handed, the first or second rather, Chicago goal.
Bernard, real big save there. He's not a big goalie in stature, but played real big in the crease with Delta's big players trying to just whack and get the puck in the net, but he held his ground. Doesn't matter how big you are, you need a big heart, and Bernard's got the big heart.
A little bit of discussion here as to not sure what the late change, possibly, I guess. Chicago not too happy about that.
Well, I mean, Chicago's a home team.
Yep.
So Yogi's trying to, you know, mess with Gino Cavallini's head a little bit, but it's been 3 times in a row now where Gino's had a problem with Yogi's changes.
Well, it might work to his advantage with 41.7 seconds. You don't want to take any risks here. He wants his boys to take home that trophy.
It's that Italian temper.
All right, here's the draw. Johnson, the 2 18s are lining up there. Cozens for Delta. Chicago takes it but can't get it out. Along the half boards, Craik sends it in. Down low in the corner. Behind the net, Cozens trying to keep it away from Lindmark. Lindmark's onto it. He sees the open net, sends it down the ice, but it's just wide. Get another face-off in the Chicago zone. Now we're at 21.5. Still 5-3 Chicago. If they can pull out this 21.5 seconds, we will have our Pat Quinn Classic champion. I guess the inaugural champion with the Pat Quinn moniker, not the first of the tournament held by the Burnaby Winter Club. Big thanks to them, as always, for holding this. Here's the face-off, and Chicago wins it, sends it right down. That was Vlasic. And streaking onto his... Oh, they missed the net. That was too close to the line, too sharp a shot to make. Delta has another chance here. They're just coming up the middle, giving everything they can, and it's offside. Cozens was just too far ahead. 5-6 on the clock. I think it's safe to say this one's wrapped up.
Yeah, you got to hand it to Chicago with all the travel, the time zone, playing all these games. They've went undefeated in this rebranded tournament here in Burnaby, and you have to give them a lot of credit. They're well coached. They have a ton of skill. They got good size. Number 3 ranked team in the U.S. I guess we shouldn't be that surprised. They're a big budget hockey club from the States. And you have to give them credit. Good for them. Toporowski, I felt, was their best player. Scored another 2 goals in this game. Had a number of chances to get that 3rd goal. They had real good defense. Gino Cavallini's a good coach. Also, congrats to Delta. Even, getting to the final, they had to, win some games. Obviously, they're only lost in this tournament twice. They lost 2 games. Have both been to Chicago Mission. Rumor has it next year, Shattuck St. Mary's, the number 1 ranked U.S. team, is coming to this tournament. So all local teams beware.
That'll be something to see. Yeah, it's been fantastic tournament, undefeated. Twice they had to defeat Delta, who in their own right are a fantastic club. As we said earlier, won the Bantam AAA tournament in Chilliwack just a couple months ago. Chicago coming in from, I think they're the farthest away in this division. There was a Japanese team in the Pee Wee, but I think they come from a little further away than the Californian teams that were here. So big credit to them for coming all this way and taking home the hardware.
Well, they're used to it, these kids now. Like when I mentioned big budget teams, it's they're doing 5-6 away tournaments. Like they did a tournament in Connecticut a few weeks ago. Then they're going to Florida. Then they're going to they're always traveling inside their own division. They have 2 teams in Detroit, which is what, a 5-6 hour drive. So they're on the road a lot.
I'm going to jump in here. We've got the winning coach downstairs with Vanessa. Vanessa, take it away.
That's right, guys. Here with a head coach, Gino. Gino, first of all, congratulations. I'm taking away from your celebration here, but thanks for speaking with us.
Thanks.
How do you feel about the win? You guys undefeated.
Well, relieved right now. You know, I mean, we knew it was going to be a battle right to the end. You know, they're a well-coached team, and they took advantage of situations that, you know, we weren't very smart on. But, you know, the guys persevered and, you know, weathered through the storm and the ref's calls or lack of calls. And, you know, that's part of the game, you know, and the kids have to learn, you know, it's not always an easy road, and, you know, it just makes us better down the stretch.
For sure, yeah, so much went into this. What were the main strategies going into this game that really helped you cap off this win?
Well, I mean, we're a skating team that can play physical. I mean, we needed to stay out of the penalty box, and we didn't do a very good job of it. But the kids are pretty resilient. They're you know, they learn how to play the game, you know, both ends of the ice, and you know, we had to kill some penalties, and you know, we took advantage of our opportunities. And you know, it's just at this point of a tournament, it's you know, your lasting power and how much stamina you got. So we're fortunate in that respect.
Totally, a win well deserved. So congratulations.
Thanks very much. It's great being here.
That's a 5-3 finish for Chicago. 5-3 Chicago over Delta in the final match of the Bantam Elite matchup here at the Pat Quinn Classic. Great to see them down on the ice getting ready to receive their medals and their trophy. Gary, thanks so much for being here today, but tell us, why did Chicago win this game in the end? What did it come down to?
Well, to me, Delta was a little nervous early in this hockey game, and Chicago took advantage of it. They scored a shorthanded goal. They got up 4-0. From that 4-0 point, Delta outscored Chicago 3-1. So they played real well the second half of the game, but the start of this game was the key for Chicago, for sure. Delta ended up getting 3 power play goals. Gino Cavallini at times maybe wasn't happy with the refs, but you got to give Delta credit for scoring on those power plays.
So Toporowski, you mentioned earlier, do you think is he your guy of the game? He had that shorthanded marker early on that really cemented that lead?
Well, he is a skating machine. He is so strong. He's all over the puck. He's real gifted. He's real smart. Tremendous balance. To me, he was the man of the match for
Man
Chicago.
of the match.
Yes.
He had 8 goals, I think, to finish the tournament, but we're seeing the ceremony out there. We're going to have to let you go here at Shaw TV. Paul McClellan, Vanessa Bear upstairs, Gary Volk, my color commentator. Thanks so much for watching here at the Pat Quinn Classic, and we'll see you at Max on Friday.